Here.
I did, yeah.
Hey, Robert.
Good morning.
Okay, what's our case number?
Okay.
34381. It's case ID 1382.
1382, is that it?
Yes, the end of
Is Robert there?
yes, bottom of page 2.
Right. He's here in person today. Robert is.
He's what?
Robert is here in
Where's
person.
Charlie?
He's out today.
Okay.
1382.
Bottom of page 2.
Got it.
Got it.
Robert, you're welcome to sit here if you want. I can move down here a little bit.
I'll sit here because I can see the screen better.
Okay. Are y'all ready for me to bring the first property owner in?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Will do.
What do we have up on the screen here?
It's pictometry.
It's pictometry.
It's a
Oh, okay.
property with the building.
Okay. Ed, you're gonna have to turn this on.
Yes. Are you doing everything?
Yes.
So you're.
Kathy, how's your grandson doing?
Well, they won 3 games. It's 3-1. So it's 4 out of 7.
Yay.
So, yeah, if they won last night. He had an assist, so that was good. If they win one
That's
more,
awesome.
if they win one more, they'll be done with this round. So hopefully they can pull that off.
Yeah, no kidding. That's awesome.
I know. I've got my cat sitting up here right behind my screen. He wants to participate. Hi, Amber. You going to talk to everybody? He talks all the time. You want to talk? Say something?
Really?
Oh, yeah. Here he is.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, there he is.
It's a big boy. Sit down.
My cat. My cat's everywhere.
Really?
Yes, she loves to talk.
Somebody coming in for this one?
Yes. Why don't we go ahead and open up the meeting for the day? So it's August 18th at 8:28. And we do have a quorum.
Yes, we have a quorum.
Okay. We're waiting for our first protester here.
Amber, go sit down.
They can have a seat right there. This is Mr. Wright. He is our
Morning.
first case this morning.
Morning.
Okay, well, we'll get started this morning. My name is Robert Dayton. And, I'll be overseeing this morning. So opening a hearing on case 2020-1382, property ID or account number 34381. This hearing is being recorded. We are the appraisal review board that will be hearing your protest today. We do not work for the appraisal district. We are appointed to perform an independent review of your protest. At the end of the hearing, you may complete a survey of your experience. The survey may be completed using the survey form and emailed to ptad.communications@cpa.texas.gov or online at surveymonkey.com/r/survey-ARB. The survey is voluntary, but we do appreciate it if you take it. You also have the right to appeal our decision. Appeal information will be provided to you with our determination. In accordance with Tax Code Section 41.45H, all written material that has not been provided must be provided at this time. So I assume you've given the district all your information. Good. ARB members who are considering the protest have not communicated with anyone about the protest and are signing an affidavit to that effect. And I'll start. I, Robert Dayton, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of Tax Code Section 41.66F.
Excuse me.
I, Kathy Hoffman, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of Tax Code Section 41.66F. I'm signing to that effect, and I'm located in Texas.
I, Ramona LeBlanc, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of Tax Code Section 41.66F, and I'm signing to that effect, and I'm physically located in Texas.
My name is Val Smith. I am witnessing Ms. LeBlanc and Ms. Hoffman's signatures via Zoom, and I'm physically located in Texas.
So I didn't mention it earlier, but the other two members that are on Zoom, they are part of the board, the appraisal review board. Amen.
I, Eamon Burke, do solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony I shall present to the appraisal review board of the Aransas County Appraisal District is true and correct.
And now if you'll state your name and the
I, Joey Wright, do solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony I shall present to the appraisal review board for the Aransas County Appraisal District is true and correct.
Okay. Joey, do you hold a license or certificate from the Texas Appraisers Board?
No.
Not an appraiser, okay. On the table there in front of you, you've got a page with two columns on it that has hearing times.
Right.
That's where we'll be following those times today. So you get to choose. Do you want to go first, or would you like the district to go first?
I'd rather go first.
Okay, you have 5 minutes. Kathy, are you keeping time?
Yes, I am.
Okay, thank you.
The appraisal district has this incorrectly classified as a boat storage facility. Before the storm, I was under a commercial lease with the company. It's included. I changed it over to a warehouse facility. It was going to be an Amazon third-party logistics facility. The storm chased them out. Put the picture back up there. It tore a chunk out of the roof and doors, and of course they were without power, and they left.
Okay.
I have since decided to do it in smaller sections so that I'm not reliant on one business. The value, what did it triple or something crazy like that? I went and drove around the community and found similar businesses engaged in the same type of activity. They're listed in my comps. Their improvement. Now, I did improvement only. I didn't do land. I figured your land value was standard.
All right.
And they range from $8. Well, actually, some of them were cheaper, but the ones that were truly comparable range from $8.06 to $12.09 a square foot. What put me onto these was Chris Crowley, was trying to buy my property, and these are properties that he owns mostly. I think one or two of them might be somebody else's, but that's the business I'm in. I included a flyer that I did shortly after I got a repair from the storm.
Okay.
This is it right here.
And it's just classified wrong is the long and short of it, and all the rest of that is documentation on similar properties that are, you can see that was a guy, I think that was a welding shop. That was my first tenant after the storm.
Okay, so you divided the building up then into smaller
Right.
workshop kind of.
It was unsuccessful as a boat storage because it wasn't deep enough and it had 10 by 10 doors. People couldn't get their boats back in and I wasn't going to babysit it.
Okay.
You can see that every other door has been eliminated, at least every other door. I've added some walk-in doors so that it's, I section it off and if they need to walk in, I'll add a walk-in.
Okay.
It's very sparse on power. It's really designed to be a storage facility. I've had tenants of home builders storing excess materials, plumber using it as a warehouse, a cabinet company using it to store products primarily for these government homes that are being built all over the place.
Okay.
And that's pretty much it. It's just classified room.
Okay.
Okay, you have another minute and minutes. Do you want to add anything else?
I think I'm good.
Okay.
Okay, then District, you have 2 minutes to cross-examine and 5 minutes for presentation.
Okay, I got two questions. One is our description of this property says that some part of it is like built out on the inside.
Yes, it has a small apartment in one end.
Okay,
And the company that, it's not currently occupied.
okay, but that's still there at
Right.
least. Okay, and it's, do you have any idea that's going to be turned into a warehouse space, or is it going to be left how it is? Or
Yeah, I'm gonna leave it like it is.
okay, and what is
It's
your
my man cave, it's my escape.
nice? What's your occupancy like now that you're, so this is a warehouse and you're doing, instead of one, you're having multiple people in there.
It changes regularly.
Right.
The people that I tend to attract are too big for your garage, too small for a legitimate commercial space.
Right. Sure.
That in between.
But at any given time, is it like half full, mostly empty?
I don't think I've ever been more than half.
Okay, that's kind of about what I figure. And other than that, I agree with you. This was picked up as a boat barn. It's not a boat barn. It's a warehouse. We didn't do our warehouses on income this year. Your numbers are accurate as well as far as our equivalent price per square foot. We still have a cost value in the system for this account, and yours is actually a little bit more depreciated than that.
Yeah,
Than that $8 a foot. It ends up, the cost value is actually a little bit less, but it ends up making the account $272,380, which is like $5,000 less than last year. It's just the building depreciated year over year.
Yeah, I agree.
But so yeah, I'm totally good with that. We can just put it back on cost, and I'll put a note in there that this is a warehouse.
Okay, so would you be good with 272,380? Okay. Kathy, did you hear that, or Ramona?
I couldn't hear that, no.
Eamon.
Very muffled.
Eamon has put it back on cost basis and offered $272,380, and the property owners has accepted that. So you want to make a motion?
Sure, okay. Sorry, I didn't hear that. I heard it now. Okay, regarding account 34381, based on what we've heard from the protester and from the district, and addressing incorrect appraised market value and appraisal ratio exceeding median level of appraisal, the district has offered to reduce the price to $272,380.
Okay, do I hear a second?
I second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, done.
All right, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wright.
Thank you.
Can we move the speaker closer to the table there? It's a little garbled.
It's great. It's
I
on
think
it.
it's because of their masks, Kathy.
Is
Yeah.
I'll try to speak up.
Looks like case number 969 is next.
Okay. It's on the top of page 1.
It's the top one on page 1.
Right.
Yeah.
Got it.
Kane, is that the one we're looking at?
Hey, Jackie,
Yeah.
So,
how's it going with Beth?
she's, well, I wasn't here yesterday, but I think she was good. She tested good, I thought.
Good. That's awesome.
No kidding.
Oh, wait, no, next case?
Mm-hmm.
Amber, please move.
Oh,
She's right there in the screen.
oh, then she
Can you see my cat?
You can see her head every
She
now
climbed
and then.
up the other day and was rubbing on the screen. You can see this big cat head come like at you.
All right, the next case is going to be number 969.
He's okay.
The taxpayer evidence looks like our evidence, so I'm not gonna. Oh, no. It is, it's not our evidence.
They're waiting for me?
Hey, come here. And this. So this is.
He said, let me.
He said I could send. I'm just.
Oh,
I'm just giving you a heads up.
okay,
I think they just made notes.
okay, yeah. Is this in person?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And this is, 9-6, not Kane, okay. All right,
First
sounds good.
one. I didn't know if I could do that, and I had to ask him, and he's like, yeah, there's no reason why I can't. Okay.
Sure. What was all that red ink?
That's all of
their notes?
yeah,
Okay,
we have it as an FB or FB regular, so.
oh, okay,
See?
okay. Yeah, I know this house, I got you.
Yeah.
No problem.
Is Mr. Kane here or are we waiting for him to show up?
He's here, I
I think
believe.
we're still-
He's here?
Yes, I think
Yes.
Val's bringing back.
And then there are two board members that are moved in. We'll be able to see them up on the screen. Yeah, and we are going to come in here, and you'll be at this table right there.
Morning, everyone.
This is Mr. Kane.
I'm Robert Dayton with the Appraisal Review Board, and on Zoom is Kathy Hoffman and Ramona LeBlanc. We got some administration to go through here, so bear with us, and I'll ask you some questions along the way. So opening a hearing on case ID 2020-969, account number 53618. This hearing is being recorded. We are the Appraisal Review Board hearing your protest today. We do not work for the appraisal district. We are appointed to perform an independent review of your protest. At the end of the hearing, you may complete a survey regarding your experience. The survey may be completed using the survey form and emailed to ptad.communications@cpa.texas.gov or online at surveymonkey.com/r/survey-ARB. The survey is voluntary, but we appreciate it if you take it. You also have the right to appeal our decision. Appeal information will be provided to you with our determination. In accordance with Tax Code Section 41.45H, all written material that has not been provided must be provided at this time. So do we have all your information?
I believe you do, yes.
Okay. ARB members who are considering the protest have not communicated with anyone about the protest and are signing an affidavit to that effect. And I will start. I, Robert Dayton, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of Tax Code Section 41.66F.
I, Kathy Hoffman, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of Tax Code Section 41.66F, physically located in Texas.
I, Ramona LeBlanc, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of Tax Code Section 41.66F, and I'm signing to that effect, and I'm physically located in Texas.
My name's Val Smith. I'm a notary public, and I am witnessing Ms. LeBlanc and Ms. Hoffman's signatures via Zoom, and I'm physically located in Texas.
Thank you. State your name and read
Yes.
okay.
Okay. I am Patrick Kane. I do solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony I shall present to the Appraisal Review Board for the Aransas County Appraisal District is true and correct.
You ready? You're on.
I, Ray Presley, do solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony I shall present to the Appraisal Review Board for the Aransas County Appraisal District is true and correct.
Patrick, do you have a appraiser's license?
No, I do not.
Okay. On the table there in front of you, you've got I think it's taped down, a
Yeah.
piece of paper that has times on it. Those are the
Yes.
times you're going to follow in the hearing.
Okay.
And you get to choose. Do you want to go first or would you like the district to go?
I'll let
first?
the district go first.
Okay,
All right,
5 minutes, Ray.
10-4. So we are over in Old Rockport, I believe. Let me see here.
Yes.
We're on 917 Wood Street. And this is a property that has two living structures on it. One of them isn't complete. Jackie, do you want to show picture real quick and we can give everybody a idea of where we're at? So that is Wood Street there to the east, and on the north side is Cedar. This is in the old Rockport area. If you're not familiar, it goes Wood, Austin, Magnolia. The house that faces Wood is complete. The house that in the rear there is an incomplete house. And I believe it's been like that. Yeah, it was built in 15 and has been at a state of unfinished since that time. For whatever reason, but it's still unfinished as far as we know. So we'll go into a sales grid here. Comp number 1 is the subject. So you know how this goes. We have an unverified 348,750 on the subject. There's no adjustments because it's comparing itself to itself. Comp number 2 is in Austin, on Austin Street, Old Rockport. Sold for $365, built in 2012, class 5. Adjust out to 378. Comp number 3 on Austin Street, Old Rockport. Sold for $338, built in 07. And adjust out to 361. And this last comp is this big stone house over on Omohundro. It's a little bit of a reach probably. It's built in the 40s. It's pretty unique, but it's in the grid. Comps out at 345. It may be the lowest comparable. Yeah, it is. It didn't have to be in the grid, but it's there. It's a little bit different than nearly anything in the county. Equity grid. So comp number 1 is a 5 on Cherry Street. It's a little bit further east of Old Rockport, but it's right there. It borders, Hotel Reserve borders the Old Rockport area. Comp number 2 is a 4. It's on Allen. Comp number 3 is 5, and comp number 4, I may have said 4 twice. I'm sorry if I did. Median equity value is 382 when comparing to other properties. It's a little tricky on this one because not too many houses have another house, unfinished structure in their backyard. So it's a little different dealing with this. I'd say maybe the most sensitive part of this particular property is that it was a sale in 20, I believe, or at the end of 19, something like that. So I didn't see the protest form. I should have looked at it first. I don't see it in my paperwork here to see what was actually under protest. So we may have to review that. I don't have it.
It shows to be online, just Q1.
Q1. Okay, thank you. I don't have it right here. That's all I have.
Okay, Mr. Kane, you have 2 minutes to cross-examine and 5 minutes for presentation.
Okay, I appreciate y'all's time today. Thank you, especially given the challenging situation with coronavirus. Ray, you mentioned unverified 342K.
Okay, yeah.
And what do you mean by that?
What we do is we don't have access to MLS, so we develop a percent of list for the county. So this year, when you take all the sales in the county, the percent of list is 93% for residential. So that's what we do is we take the last list price, multiply it, at 93%,
yeah,
and develop
okay,
an unverified.
right, yeah. So actually, y'all aren't. If it's 93%, you're not working from the last list price.
No, we wouldn't do that.
Yeah. Okay. Because the house had been higher on the market and then had a very significant price drop. The owner was trying to subdivide the lot and in essence treat it as 2 separate houses.
Yeah.
And that's why they're asking price was really high. They came to the city, it was denied. So they dropped significantly their asking price, and y'all don't reflect that. Okay, all your comps show, all but one show us comparing to a class 5 or a class 6. Why weren't there any comparisons to class 3 comparables?
Because we don't have you as a class 3.
Right, so which we'll get to in a minute, because I do have a question how you got me to a class 5, and that's the basis of what my protest is going to be. Sure. So I really don't think the comparables are comparable.
Okay.
That's, and you're right, it is a unique property. And I factored that in when I was going through my process. All right, I'll go ahead and get started on my pitch with my 5 minutes. Okay, so I looked at this investment property over Thanksgiving 2019. I was living on the East Coast, so I was in town for just a 10-day period of time. I planned to buy 2 houses for $200K each. And as I narrowed the options, and there were plenty, there was a significant price reduction for 917 Wood Street, which made it a contender, as it had 2 houses on 1 lot, which gave me the 2 200K investment properties that I was looking for, without the expense of a second lot. And I'm looking at this long term, so if I could bank that, 50+ K savings, that would be great. So I didn't do all in budget of 350K, and I targeted 250 to 275 for the purchase, which would leave me 75K to finish construction of the unfinished guest house, which is marked as improvement 2 in the records. Imagine my surprise when I received the 342K assessed value, as construction didn't begin until this year. And the district was already at my all-in 350K budget. As you said, the house was built, the guest house was built in 2015 and was nothing but a shell, and has been that way ever since. I spent a considerable amount of time trying to understand the district's assessment, and now I know why it's incorrect. The assignments for class and effective year are wrong, and this inflates the assessed value and serves as an incorrect starting point for the comparable assessment. My bottom line up front is improvement 1, which is the main house, should be coded as class 3 for the 1990 or earlier effective year, and improvement 2 should be coded as class 4. If you look at the middle of this slide that's in front of you, which is page 1, you'll notice that my class and year were updated twice in the last year. I have another supporting page, which we'll get to in a second, that's going to show you that. I was changed to a 4 and then to a 5. The change was for both properties, and then from 1990, I was changed to 1990, and then 2005 for the main house, which is improvement 1. If we can switch to the second slide. Okay, so this is, it's not showing on the screen here, but at the bottom of the screen, it would show March 2020. Here we go. So March 4th, 2020. Which is when I arrived in the area, and I got a printout of this. And you can already see in the notes up near the top left that y'all had already added years in class change per listing, right? Per the real estate listing. And down below, you'll see it was changed to a class 4 in a 1990 effective. If we go back to the first slide, page 1, you'll see that it was changed to a class 5 in a 2005 effective year. So you changed class on me twice. In year. Okay, so we're going to go to the third slide. So intuitively, we also know the district's assessment is wrong. As an example, and this would be bottom middle. So as we got to the, as in bottom middle, you'll see the 72, can't read what that says. It's too far away, my eyes aren't that good. Sorry, as I switch over.
You can look at it here.
There we go. All right, there we go. Thank you. Yeah, so the 172,000 valuation times 1.3 would get me to 225K valuation. When the city accepted a 65K valuation for building the guest, I provided that as Exhibit C. It's the building permit. We don't need to look at it right now. So my contracted cost to complete the construction was 74K. Right, so it's very clear the district's valuation is more than double what it should be for the guest. Even Zillow, so that'll be slide, it'll be a couple more slides back. It is close. So they're at 220K for their estimate, which didn't include the shell. And if you look at it and factor in the cost of the shell, they're right back on their value about 250, 275K. So again, why do we have such a big difference? If we look at the slides, and I'm sorry, I'm moving around on you too much, but if we look at the slides on Exhibit B, that's our appraisal district. Let's skip over 2 slides to get to Class 3. And if you scroll down a little bit, the house, that's the textbook example of what a Class 3, like a single floor brick ranch, rectangle box, low roof construction, you would swear that's my house. So I've overlaid my house right in there. Right, so my house is Class 3. You look at the attributes that are associated with that house, it's Class 3. If you move to the next slide, that'll show you top is the guest house. It's more interesting than a Class 3, so I put it in the Class 4 category, right? But it was unfinished on January 1st. You get to the next slide, and you look at what you would say my house is. So one more page, slide 5. Y'all are saying my house is a Class 5. It's not even close. Right?
Mr. Kane,
Yes.
do you have much more? Your 7 minutes is up. You'll have some more time later.
No, that's the essence of my my point is I have the wrong class and wrong year, and that's driving the valuation to be much higher than it should be. And
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. The district has 2 minutes to cross-examine and 2 minutes for rebuttal, so I'll have 4 minutes.
Yeah, Mr. Kane, let me ask you about some numbers that you quoted, just so that we can
Sure.
I don't want to be confused.
Okay.
Tell me again the 70, I think you may have said 74 once and 75 once, or
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
was there an original permit you were talking about when
Right,
they
so
built
the-
it?
Yeah. So the original permit from the city was 65K, and I
And that was
provided
in
that.
that was in 15. Okay, all
That
right.
was to build the house. The house
Okay.
was never finished. Right. This included plumbing, electrical, finished walls, everything.
Yeah.
Right, so I
got you.
ended up with a shell, and I don't know how y'all would value the shell, but I'm gonna say 35, 40K of sitting on the ground construction. It cost me 74K, that was my contracted price, ABC Home Construction, right, 74K to finish that house,
Okay.
right? And so if you added those two together, right, let's say 40K plus my 74, I'm half of what y'all's appraised value is for that property when complete, right? I'm looking at, you say I'm 40% complete,
Yeah.
but your valuation is 225K when you factor in the 1.3 multiplier for the next
Yeah.
year.
I got
And
you.
I'm not even close, not close.
So the other thing that I would ask in Cross, I'm in Cross, right?
Yes.
Yes, you are.
The other thing that I would ask is, do you, are you willing to let us know your purchase price?
But I was, but I think it was Jackie I spoke with on the phone. She says, go ahead and provide it, and we'll adjust your appraisal value for this year. But the next year, we're going to take you back to what we assess as market rate. That's just not right. So at this point, no, I'm not providing.
Okay,
Because it doesn't,
that's
it doesn't
fine.
help, and it's not really, it wouldn't change the numbers. My purchase price was nowhere close to what you guys have.
Right,
If you
right.
follow your own guide, which my house is a Class 3, maybe a Class 4 for the other,
Yeah,
I think you're going to get at the right number.
okay. No, it's okay. I was just curious. There's just been a lot of numbers thrown out.
Sure.
And a lot of classes, and we're talking about a lot of different things. And so that's the only reason I was asking. But
It's a good
everything
question.
you said is good. I'm good with. We can move on. I don't need any more cross time. So-
Okay.
Okay,
All right, then, Mr. Kane, you have 2 minutes for rebuttal.
But I'm not sure that I have to rebut anything, right? So
Any other comments you want to make? You have 2 minutes.
I mean, if I can ask Greg, looking at the pictures on Class 5, if we could go back to that, do you think a single-story ranch is a Class 5, right? Does it have all the architectural interests? If you scroll down on this page and it talks about all the extra features.
Right.
My main house doesn't even have a garage. There's not a garage.
Was the thing in the back, Does the thing in the back have a garage?
That thing in the back has a single car garage. So
Is it-
between two houses,
Is it possible though that the garage in the back is actually the garage for the house in the front? And then the thing in the back is like a mother-in-law type of home?
yeah, that's exactly how it was designed.
I mean, it's something like that. So
Yeah.
it kind of has a garage.
Yeah,
I
correct,
mean,
but you
depending
can't
on,
Yeah, but you can't give me two class 5 homes.
no.
I'm
You're-
not even close to that,
Okay.
right? And so it's, I mean, and it should be intuitive that that's not correct, which is frustrating for me to have to come explain that.
Well, I don't think you should be frustrated having to explain it. You're just doing what you're supposed to do. We're appraising a lot of homes
A lot.
under a lot of pressure,
Sure.
not from entities, but from the state.
Yes.
So we have to take great care and extra great care if something transacts in the year. And this one's complicated.
Yes.
My initial reaction, and I can appreciate, I think the district rebuttal actually should have kind of came already. I think we should have went district cross, district rebuttal, and then protester rebuttal. I'm going to jump in and do a little bit of a rebuttal here.
Go ahead.
But it's to answer Mr. Kane's question. It's a question that needs to be answered mainly because he has done the diligent work of working through our classes here. Couple of things that the district would rebut and not take extremely serious. One is any Zillow numbers. We would not take those serious. We would also be hesitant to take the permit value with too much weight. A lot of times those permit values are misleading. But the class stuff, that is our data going out into the world. And I agree with Mr. Kane. In a sense, not all the way. I don't think the house in the front, the main house that was built in 65 is a 5, but I do believe it's a 4. And I think that the house in the back and the garage and all that is seen as one thing, like it's on one property right now. It's not split up. So I would say, and I would also say that the house in the back is not a 5+. And I would be more willing to put this thing at a 4 or a 4+ area, depending, I need to see it again. But that is an agreement I'm making. That is actually not the value agreement, and that is the difficulty here. We need to come to a value on this thing. The district doesn't want to change classes in years in the middle of a hearing. We actually put more time into that. So we're going to have to figure out value, which without having a sell price, we can do it. We're just going to
But
have.
Ray,
Okay,
after this, after everything, then you'll go back in and change it to a 4?
What we will do is we need to settle this thing. I have to be very careful here, Ramona. I will say on record that
That it's not a 5.
yes, I don't think it's a 3. This house is probably should be classed as a 4+, both of them, both front and back. It's a little bit tricky around here now because the building standards are so high that these classes, there's some difficulty in our classes right now. That's not his problem, that's our problem. So I have to be careful, but I agree that these are not a 5+ and a 5. I think we're more around that 4+ area. That's probably a little better. But we have to see this in person. You know, we're not going to make changes in here.
Okay, I have a question then. We're about out of time here. So we
What are
can't,
you
are you
thinking,
saying
Lou?
we can't make any adjustments now? We have to come to some conclusion regarding the price.
Yeah, you're gonna have to
Correct.
do a value decision.
Right, is it possible that I say I'm willing to wait for a value decision
No,
to do this
negative.
process again? Okay.
Can we do that?
No,
No.
no,
No,
that's
we
what I'm
have to make
telling
a
you.
decision today.
Yeah, this is not the time or place to be changing classes and ages of homes.
Right, but that serves as the basis for your estimate. All your appraisals, everything, or your comps.
That's why the
are
value
incorrect,
is, right.
Right?
Well, no, not necessarily, but they're being judged against, like that, it was a 5+, that could be incorrect.
I mean, our valuations aren't even close. Right,
Well,
what
I don't
pay
think they're
and
as
what
far
you
away,
think,
they're
or-
not as far away as you're making them seem, I don't think either.
I've done plenty of research, right, and even looked at the market today. I could go buy two 200K houses in Old Rockport that would give me the same setup, but 2 lots, right? That's 200K houses is worth more, right? I was expecting to be at 350K total for this product. I mean, after I finish construction, you have me at
Yeah.
342 now,
Yeah,
and you're gonna add another 125 plus when you're done. I would have been, this is a investment for me. I don't live in either house. I don't
right,
care about it.
right.
Other than turning money for me, and you're
No, no,
taking
no,
my
I-
ability to turn money away.
I'm following you, because if you take the 70, it's gonna be 172 times another 30%.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be, like you're saying, it's gonna be
You're
like
gonna have me
$130.
$500,000 for what
And,
I
and,
could
we-
have as two
and I,
separate properties.
no, Mr. Kane, I agree. I agree that something's not right there. And that's why I'm saying we do need to arrive at a value. We're not gonna change class and age in this room.
Okay, that's fine.
We just gotta get to a
Sure.
value.
Okay.
It's kind of, we just have to do that today. We have to arrive at a value.
Okay.
Okay.
Ray, throw something out there and let's hear it.
Sure, I'll throw something out there. I've thrown this out there. I would prefer that Mr. Kane would tell us his purchase price and we go to it for a year. And
Then go look at the buildings
that's what I would
themselves.
prefer. Yeah, I don't want to just throw something at the wall. He can refuse that though. And
Yeah, I have probably at least 10 hours of doing research and coming here today. I could have, and I'm missing work, which has cost me $80 an hour,
okay,
right? So I could have skipped all of that if we'd done this before, right? But I don't agree with the principle that you were gonna set this year's appraisal based on
no,
listing price and then jack it up.
Okay, Mr. Kane, what do you see the value of this property being?
Right, so the fact that nothing changed between my purchase in December and January 1st, I think we should be at the prior valuation. If you need an increase for inflation, et cetera, we're at 225K. Right, and that's from 188K that you had it the year before.
So you're saying you're placing a value, you think it should be at 188?
No, that was y'all's,
225,
I'm sorry. I think you were at
225?
correct. And that's significantly more than your 2019 valuation.
What do you think, Ramona?
And say
I
the
would-
number again, I'm sorry.
His opinion. about-
225,000 is what he's thinking the property.
That's what Mr. Kane is
Yes.
saying? Okay.
Yes,
Ray,
ma'am.
Ray, where are you at with that?
well, the district, I would like to close. I would like to have my 1 minute.
All right.
Take
Go ahead.
your minute, and then we're going to be done.
Okay, no problem. I want to be clear about some things here. I believe that Mr. Kane has really done a good job, and I know that there's some frustration with having to go this route, but unfortunately, this is the way that it needed to go. I agree with the class issue, and I want to be clear about this part. The reason I agree with it is not because when I look at this property, I don't think it's worth 350. it's when I look at this property, I don't think it's worth $500,000 when it's done. That's a large amount of money for Old Rockport. There's got to be a cap in a neighborhood. It just, I mean, other than the McDavid homes, who knows what those are worth, but in general, it just can't be worth, it can't just go through the roof and you're not even on the water. So there is an issue here, and it's probably in the classing of the homes. But 225 is not what I think the house is worth. That's
Kathy, what do you, oh, okay, go ahead. Closing, is everybody?
Yeah, we're finished. We're in the ARB discussion right now. Robert, where are you at?
Okay, I just want to be sure that the homeowner also gets his minute closing.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought he was finished. Did you want to take another minute, Mr. Kane?
I won't take a minute, but I can have 15 seconds, you know, so again, back to my starting point, right? And I've done the analysis again. I agree with Ray, right? Y'all gonna put me at $500,000 the way this is set up today. That's just not correct. It's not even close. I was looking at 200K houses I could duplicate today, right? And this property isn't worth that because I can't sell it as 2 separate houses, right? So I'm looking at 350K all in investment when I'm done, right? Which includes the construction done in 2020, right? So y'all can work backwards from there, what you think it takes to be there, but that is fair for Old Rockport today.
Okay, thank you. ARB now has 5 minutes to deliberate.
Do I need to leave for that?
No,
Oh,
stay here. I'm in the 250 to 275 range.
I was going to say 275.
I was gonna say 250.
Okay. Robert, were you at 250 also, Robert?
No, I was really thinking 275, but in that range.
Yeah, I'm
But
closer to two.
I feel
Go ahead.
comfortable with the 250,
Okay.
you know, until, you know, the district has an opportunity, you know, I mean, for this year, and then the district will do its business.
Yeah. Obviously, the one house is unfinished and unrentable, so.
Correct.
You want to make a motion then for 250?
Okay, I'll be fine with that. The whole thing needs work, obviously.
Right.
All right,
And
I'll
it's
make a
unique
motion.
too.
It's very unique, yes. And Mr. Kane, you did a great job in your presentation.
Yes.
Regarding account 53618, based on what we've heard from both Mr. Kane and from the district in addressing incorrect appraised market value, the ARB will reduce the price as noted to 250,000.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. Kane.
For coming in. Good,
Thank y'all.
good presentation.
All right, I appreciate it. And Ray, I look
Thank
forward
you, sir.
to sit class.
just, you know, if you think about it, feel free to call us, Patrick, even before we put notices
Okay.
out. That way,
Yeah,
because
I mean,
this
y'all
is
would-
sort of in limbo. So
You've been
just,
invited over to the property. I don't have a problem.
oh, I hear you. We'll talk again.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you. Y'all.
This is
Patrick.
Next is number 221.
Sorry, two what?
Bottom of page 1.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, which one are we on?
Page 1, the bottom one, number 221.
Okay.
Yes, I get that.
That one? Okay. And then I have 3 of these. I guess I'll figure that out later.
Actually, Ray just gave me one. It's case 1491
Okay.
in person.
I'm sorry, what is it?
That's the one we're doing.
1491.
1491. Oh, okay.
Top of page 3.
Right.
Is the next one up?
Yeah. You want to do it?
Yeah, sure. Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, I'll do all the, I thought that one was gonna be quick. It was just gonna.
No, it was a super complicated one.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Which is why he asked for that stuff, and I was wondering if we can give it to him.
it's okay. It's okay.
Public
He did a
information.
good job. He was really right about a lot of things. There was a lot of errors. in
And
that
he was a
account.
nice, I mean, when I talked to him, he
Yeah,
was super
yeah.
nice.
Yeah, there was a lot of errors in that account. That's an account that would have been done much different if we'd had MLS.
Yeah.
No kidding.
That one really hurt us.
Mhm.
There's a lot of unknown.
What was that message in?
They're updating their system to call you, let you know your prescription's ready.
So it's ready? No prescription.
The earlier message was to tell you, you have a prescription, right?
You have one new message, Tuesday, 8:59 a.m. Press 1 now. Message deleted. End of messages.
And they'll let you know. Okay. All right, Ms. Littman is here, and then that she'll be joined shortly by Ms. Clark. Ms. Clark. So if you want to have a seat over there.
Sure.
Bring another chair. Whenever you'd like, you can go ahead and sign and print.
Okay.
And then at the point where they ask for an oath, you state your name and read this.
Okay.
Are we waiting on something?
Ms. Clark.
She's in the bathroom, I think.
Okay.
You'll be right over there. I don't know if they're, sorry. Okay.
Good morning. I'm Robert Dayton. I'm with the Appraisal Review Board. And we have two members on Zoom, Kathy Hoffman and Ramona LeBlanc. And Eamon is with the district here. So we'll get started. I'll have some questions along the way. We've got some administration to go through first.
Okay.
So opening a hearing on case ID 2020-1491, account number 70474. This hearing is being recorded. We are the Appraisal Review Board that will be hearing your protest today. We do not work for the appraisal district. We are appointed to perform an independent review of your protest. At the end of the hearing, you may complete a survey regarding your experience. The survey may be completed using the survey form and emailed to ptad.communications@cpa.texas.gov or online at surveymonkey.com/r/survey-ARB. Survey is voluntary, but we do appreciate you taking it. You also have the right to appeal our decision. Appeal information will be provided to you with our determination. In accordance with Tax Code Section 41.45H, all written material that has not been provided must be provided at this time. So you've given the district all of your information?
Yes.
Okay. The ARB members who are considering the protest have not communicated with anyone about the protest and are signing an affidavit to that effect. And I will begin. I, Robert Dayton, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of Tax Code Section 41.66F.
I, Kathy Hoffman, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of Tax Code Section 41.66F. I'm signing to that effect, and I'm located in Texas.
I, Ramona LeBlanc, do solemnly swear I have not communicated with another person in violation of Tax Code Section 41.66F, and I'm signing to that effect, and I'm physically located in Texas.
My name is Val Smith. I'm a notary public. I am witnessing Ms. LeBlanc and Ms. Hoffman's signatures via Zoom, and I'm physically located in Texas.
Okay, if you'll state your name and read the affidavit there, statement.
I, Christina Levin, do solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony I shall present to the Appraisal Review Board for the Aransas County Appraisal District is true and correct.
I, Wendy Clark, do solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony I shall present to the Appraisal Review Board of the Aransas County Appraisal District is true and correct.
And I, Eamon Burke, do solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony I shall present to the Appraisal Review Board for the Aransas County Appraisal District is true and correct.
Are either one of you ladies an appraiser in the state of Texas?
No.
Okay. On the table in front of you, take down there's a piece of paper that has times on it. The times will be following the hearing today. You get a choice. Do you want to go first, or would you like the district to go first?
District.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, Eamon, you have 5 minutes.
This is account 70474. It is a commercial property in downtown Rockport on the corner of Wharf and Austin Street. There is a section of land behind it that's used for parking. But it is part of the parcel that is the tenant that faces Austin Street. The property was noticed last year at $230,540. And this year it was valued on an income basis and noticed at $422,670. If you go to the income worksheet. Thank you. You can keep it zoomed in a little bit so it's easier to read, maybe even a little bit more. Okay, so it is a retail strip center. It's the same thing as the rest of downtown Rockport. It is 301 South Austin Street. The net rentable area of the building is 4,160 square feet. The rent rate given is $10. That's per foot per year. That's how the rent rates are listed for valuations. Gives a gross potential income of $41,600, and it has a normalized vacancy of 5%. Obviously, it has one tenant, so they're either there or they're not. but that's assuming they'll be there for a couple years, and then it'll take a couple months to find a new one when they swap out. And all of these properties are assumed to be on a triple net basis. Even if they're not, it'll affect the market rate, so there's no expenses. The net operating income is $39,520. You apply a cap rate to that, loaded with taxes, and you get the indicated value of $422,674. You keep scrolling down. This is the equity grid, just shows other properties in downtown Rockport. They're all treated exactly the same way. $10 lease rate, 5% normalized vacancy, no expenses, same cap rate, 7.4. And since you're all in the same taxing entity, it's all 1.95. And that is all of our evidence for this property. That'll conclude this part by 5 minutes.
Okay, ladies, you have 2 minutes to cross-examine and then 5 minutes for your presentation. So 7 minutes.
Okay, so are you saying that all of the properties in downtown Rockport are on the income method?
Yes.
Okay, and on the income valuation sheet here, you're assuming that it's a triple net lease?
No, the valuations for retail strip centers are always done on a triple net basis.
Okay.
And if in a market where let's say rent's $10 and no one does triple net, then what you do is you value them as if the market rent is say $5 or $6. So that's just how it gets shown.
So you're not taking into account taxes, management fee, reserve for replacement, any of those costs are not?
Reserves for replacement, yes. The management rate is built into the cap rate, and taxes are part of that tax load. Okay. The more the taxes and the more the management, the lower the value of the property.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And then on your card that you showed, that you submitted to me, your evidence packet, your field card.
Yes.
You have, that's not our store on that picture.
Okay.
Okay. We've had no commercial remodel at all. The only thing that was done was a roof after Hurricane Harvey. That's it.
Oh, that's a permit.
But it says commercial remodel. There was no remodel of the store. It was one roof.
We don't pick what those permits are called.
Okay. And then what else was there?
The extra building.
Yeah, there's an extra building outside, attached storage. It says attached storage, 840 square feet. We have nothing.
Okay.
So I'm not entirely confident that that card reflects our property.
Okay, I agree with you. So do you know how much square footage you have that's like rentable?
About 4,000 square feet.
Yeah.
So the square footage is 4,000, but you have a main area of 160. I don't know where that came from. And then the attached storage of 840. I'm not sure where that came from either. And there is a covered awning in front of it, so I could agree with that. It'd be about that. It's not very big, but
yeah, normally there's a little line drawing there. I'm not sure why it doesn't show up in these, but I couldn't tell you, but I agree with you. 4,000 sounds right.
It's a little misleading when I looked at the card. I was like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, I wish our cards were better about pictures. But...
That's across the street, actually. It's a place called Hidden Treasures.
Oh, okay.
So, all right. So
just for clarification,
sure.
I hate to interrupt, but the pictogram picture that showed the building on the corner?
That is correct.
That is correct.
The pictogram picture is correct, but some of this information here didn't match up, so that's why I had to ask questions about it.
Okay.
Okay. So if it's okay, I'd like to go into my presentation right now. All right. So on your income method, the appraisal district didn't take any allowable expenses into consideration, which is taxes, insurance, management fees, things like that, reserve for replacement, which I created this spreadsheet, the 4160, I'll give you the 44,160 square feet. I actually have provided a copy of the lease that T-Line has with the tenant in this building. The lease we receive is $54,000 a year, which gives us down to the operating expenses, which is the property taxes. The wind and the flood insurance are quite high. I've included 3 or 4 years of flood insurance costs for this building, so it is super high. We have a management fee of $5,400 that we pay, which would bring us down to our total expenses, brings us down to 35,140. You take that away from the income, the total gross income of 54,000, and you are left, depending on which cap rate you use, I used the 9.35 like the district did. So I'm gonna say my building and property is worth $201,710.91
On the income method.
on the income method. There is the Rowdy Maui right across the street, which is another retail entity. It is not on the income method. So the statement that all businesses, retail businesses are on the income method is not entirely correct.
Which one's the wrap? Did you say it was called?
Rowdy Maui,
Which one is? Was that
and
one?
they are property ID 28501. I mean, it was included in my packet. And then there's a business down 501 South or 508 South Austin. That business is for rent. So it has been for sale and for rent for a while, so it's not exactly doing well. If you go with the cost approach, the values from 2019 were acceptable to us because we felt like that it reflected a true cost of the representation of the property's value. The building is old. It was built in the 1950s and it's had no remodels in the past 30 years. Mrs. Clark, who's been with the company longer than I have, could attest to that. This building is prone to flooding. Every time it rains in this area, we have to deal with a flooding issue, which does detract from its marketability. Even if we wanted to sell, we'd have to take that into consideration. The value of the property should be the same as 2019, as there have been no changes to the building, and it's another year older. So I would value it at 2019's value of $230,540. And then if we take a look at the market approach, Walgreens is for sale, the Bells has gone out of business here, and it's for sale. And then the property at 508 South Austin is for sale, and it has been reduced to 289,000 on the website for it. So on the market approach, I'd say 230,540 as well for a value on it. And I have supporting documentation in my evidence packet for all of the things, the properties for the Rowdy Maui. There's a building at 1004 Main Street that's valued by the appraisal district at $227,720, which gives you $40.62 a square foot. And ours on the cost approach is 55.41 a square foot. So they're very similar in cost per square foot. Ours is a bigger building, so it would be worth more. But I think they all kind of line up with those valuations.
Okay, your time is up at the moment. You'll get a couple minutes later on. District, you have 2 minutes to cross-examine and 2 minutes for rebuttal.
I want to look at this one real quick. Can I look at the PICTO for 28501?
It's right there, you go.
Oh, I see it right there.
Pull it up in
Sorry.
PAX and see if it is not giving an income value.
It's not.
Is it say cost? Does it have an income value in the income tab?
No.
Really?
It should.
Yeah. This one somehow managed to slip through the crack. That's weird. Yeah, this one should be valued the same as the other ones. There's nothing that sometimes if there's one that's like super different, like there's that one that used to be a bank.
Yeah.
That building, I don't know. The thing is, I don't know how to, like the model doesn't necessarily match because it's a super different building. But
It's now an attorney's office, yeah, so.
oh really? Is that what
Your
it's going to be?
promotion is now an attorney's office.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
And he's going to rent out part of it too, is what I understand.
Nice, nice. Yeah, I will point out that if we go to, let's go to the evidence that they have so we can see the numbers. Everybody can see the numbers that are on there. Go, I don't know what page it is, maybe page 2, something like that.
First spreadsheet.
Yeah, there you go, that one right there. Okay, that's good. Yeah, One of the things that's really relevant about downtown Rockport is the cost of insurance. It's really high for the property category. It's not necessarily high for the area, but it's high for retail strip centers in general. So that information is really good for us to have. The only issue here is, you see that 9.35% cap rate?
Yes.
That is taking into account management and taxes in that. So if they're allowed as an expense, then they come out of the cap rate. And if they are in the cap rate, they don't get allowed as an expense. You just do them one place or the other.
Okay, so would you
So
take the 10 or the 8% cap rate?
well, the unloaded cap rate is 7.4.
Okay.
I think it's best to include that stuff in your cap rate because it's not just an expense. It's money that you can't turn into more money. It's money that you can't capitalize, right? So anyways, the adjustment being made for this, for those two not being allowable, just the taxes and the management, but the reserves for replacement is definitely allowable, and that is good to do. It renders a value on this property of $319,316.
Sorry, Eamon, say that number again, 319 what?
Just 319,000. Fine, just round it.
Is that what you're suggesting the value of this property is?
Yeah, I'm fine with settling for actuals on this one since so much data was provided. I'm happy to do that.
All right, ladies, are you comfortable with that number?
We'll do that. Okay,
Yes.
they're saying yes.
You're saying yes, they are? I can't
Yes,
hear
ma'am.
that.
Yes, we will
Yes,
take.
ma'am.
They are comfortable with 319?
Yeah, and I'll point out your really quick, since I'll never be able to say this outside of this. Your rent, your actual rent is $12.98 a foot a
Yes.
year. So the thing that's going to happen is because you have expenses in that, your effective rent is lower. So we're just gonna, our market rent is $10, and you're gonna end up being a data point at like $9 or something.
So
like
you're
that.
gonna take the reserve replacement out that we have away from it, but none of the other expenses. Am I understanding that correctly?
Insurance is allowable.
Okay,
Reserve for replacement is allowable.
so those
That's good.
expenses will be deducted from our 54,000 and then you'll
Yes.
figure the cap rate on that.
Yes,
Okay.
that's it. Yep. And then that'll just be, we don't do commercial properties on actuals every year. You don't do that. You do it on market stuff,
Mhm.
or else you end up valuing intangible stuff. So if somebody's running their business really well,
Mhm.
they end up paying for it. And if they're running it badly, it doesn't make any
They're not
sense.
paying for it.
Right. It's devaluing their real property, which makes no sense. So but y'all are just providing so much data. This is like, our market should reflect reality. So this is great. This is
Well,
useful.
and like I said, that's the 54,000 is what we collect in rent. So, I mean, I provided the lease so that you could see that these were the actual numbers and several years worth of insurance information to back up why that rate is so high.
Yeah, that makes sense. Sounds good.
All right, Kathy, you want to make a motion?
Okay, yes, all right. Regarding account 70474, based on what we've heard from the protesters and from the district regarding incorrect appraised market value, appraisal ratio exceeding median level of appraisal, and any other issues regarding the cost, we've agreed to settle on a noted rate of 319,000.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, ladies. Appreciate it.
Have a very good day. Stay safe
Thank you.
and healthy.
You too.
This hearing is a phone hearing. I know. I noted that. Oh, no, you can't. You didn't.
Oh, good. Thanks. I was just making a note about.
I just put 1/1/2021, you better pay or maintain the date.
No, that's good. That's what I was thinking.
I got you already. These people are here, but I don't know.
What?
Why can't I get on here?
This was not a previously scheduled phone hearing, so I'd like to get the board's permission to conduct it by phone. The affidavit has been signed
That's
and
fine.
is in place. Thank you.
What?
What number
It's not
is it?
scheduled?
It's case 1221.
No, it was scheduled.
Yeah, she was saying it was not scheduled as a phone hearing, but it's going to be, they're calling us.
They're already there. I think they've been there, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, they'll have been waiting a while.
Okay.
On
you
the
ready?
horn as we speak.
You ready?
Yes.
Not to commingle myself with anyone. I got the meat. Okay, I gotta go.
1221, is that correct?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello,
Yes.
hello,
Is this
Good
Rebecca?
hang
morning.
on. Good morning.
This Rebecca Johnson?
Yes, it is.
Okay, I'm Robert Dayton with the Appraisal Review Board, and I'll be the one
Hello.
overseeing the hearing. Can you hear us?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we have some administration to go through first. Follow along, and I'll have some questions for you along the way. Opening a hearing on case ID 2020-1221, account number 19253. This hearing is being recorded. We are the Appraisal Review Board that will be hearing your protest today. I have myself, Robert Dayton, and on Zoom, we have Kathy Hoffman and Ramona LeBlanc. We do not work for the appraisal district. We are appointed to perform an independent review of your protest. The comptroller's office provides an electronic survey for you to offer feedback about your experience today that may be accessed at the appraisal district office or online at surveymonkey.com/r/survey ARB. The survey is voluntary, but we do appreciate you taking it. You also have the right to appeal our decision. Appeal information will be provided to you with our determination. In accordance with Tax Code Section 41.45H, all written material that has not been provided must be provided at this time. So do we have all your evidence?
Well, I didn't submit any evidence. The information that I'd like to discuss with you today is readily available within the Aransas County Appraisal District website. So do I need to scan and email this stuff to you, or can we just talk about it?
No?
You can testify to it, but if it's like other accounts, you can just discuss it verbally, but nothing was submitted in writing.
Okay.
You can
That's
discuss
fine.
anything that we submitted that's in ours. If there's any overlap with ours, it's fine.
Okay. Well, we're just going to wing this because,
Okay, that's fine.
okay.
So in accordance with Tax Code Section 41.45H, all written material that has not been provided must be provided at this time. The ARB members who are considering the protest have not communicated with anyone about the protest and are signing an affidavit to that effect. And I will begin. I, Robert Dayton, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of Tax Code Section 41.66F.
I, Kathy Hoffman, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of Tax Code Section 41.66F, signing to that effect, and I'm physically located in Texas.
I, Ramona LeBlanc, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of Tax Code Section 41.66F, and I'm signed to that effect, and I'm physically located in Texas.
My name's Val Smith. I'm a notary public. I'm witnessing Ms. LeBlanc and Ms. Hoffman's signatures via Zoom, and I'm physically located in Texas.
I, Eamon Burke, do solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony I shall present to the Appraisal Review Board for the Aransas County Appraisal District is true and correct.
And Rebecca, I'm going to assume since you're the one that signed the affidavit that you're under oath for the rest of this hearing.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Rebecca, are you an appraiser in the state of Texas?
No, sir.
Okay. Also, as part of the information that the district sent you, should have been about page 5. There was a page that had hearing procedure times on it, had 2 columns.
I think I glanced at that this morning. Yes, sir.
Okay, those are the times that we'll be following, and you have the choice. Do you want to go first, or would you like the district to go first?
The district can go first.
Okay.
Okay, this is account number 19253. It's a single-family residential home on 7th Street in Fulton, between Laurel and can't remember which street that is to the south.
Chaparral.
Chaparral. Thank you. It was noticed last year at 105,000. Nice round number because it was a settled value, but it was about that. It was 105,000. This year it was noticed at 119,800. The picture of the aerial on the next page. There you go. The house is about 1,100 square feet of livable area. The sales comps show stuff that's been selling in Fulton. The comps are from 5th Street, 4th Street, and 5th Street, and the subject is on 7th Street. The comps are class 3 homes, just like the subject. So our scale goes from 1 to 7, 4 is the middle, 3 is one class below the middle, which may not necessarily mean the house is worse, but it might just be, they might be kind of small or cottagey, I guess, is what you could say. The first sale was in 2019. It was in October of 19. It was for 158. And that house was almost exactly the same square footage as the subject. The next one, it was sold for 162. And it was also about the same size as the subject. And the third one was sold for 156. So obviously there's some differences. They need to be adjusted. The subject is in a depreciated state compared to these other ones to some degree. One of them has an effective age that's a little older, but that's 1986. The subject's effective age is 1975, so it's kind of significantly depreciated. The indicated
I'm sorry, go ahead.
The indicated median market value is 153,036, and I would say that that is really very accurate, assuming that there's nothing wrong with the house. We noticed them at 119.8, and if there was nothing, if it was not a property that needs a lot of work, it would be impossible to get it for that. The equity grid shows other properties, not necessarily sales, that are in this area: 7th Street, Google's Cole Boulevard, North 5th Street, and South 4th Street. There are other 3 class homes, fiberboard or standard siding, and this property is just on the same schedule as the rest of them. So the indicated median equity value is 129,000. This whole neighborhood got an increase this year of a few percent because there is just market activity showing that even regardless of age of the home or what size lot, property values are going up in Fulton. And that's just happening. If you look at the market grid again, we're way below even that. And our sales ratios on those sales are not stellar because stuff is just selling for more and more there in Fulton. And then the sales ratio report is for the Fulton area. It shows we're at 96% weighted mean, average of 93. So there's we're outside of.
Can you say that again? I didn't understand or hear that correctly.
Our sales ratio in Fulton is 96% and our average mean is 93. That means on a normal house, our number ends up being 95% about of what things actually sell for. Our numbers just tend to be 5% low, which is outside of our confidence interval. We're supposed to be better than that. And that is all of our evidence.
Okay, Rebecca, you have 2 minutes to cross-examine and 5 minutes for your presentation. So I'm going to give you 7 minutes.
Okay. The first thing I'd like to make a point of is, according to the Aransas CAD Appraisal District, the age of the subject property is 1950, not another date that was mentioned by the other person presenting information for the district. So we're in 1,096. Yeah, he was right, about 1,100 square foot living area, square foot house, wood frame with hardy siding. We did have to remove the asbestos siding and replace it with hardy. And so as far as cross-examination, I think, let's see, the other thing I have concern with is the fact that I'm not given specific addresses for the comp sales on North 5th Street and South 4th Street. The values and the dates of those sales, would like to challenge and look at a description of what a Class 3 home is and how mine qualifies for a Class 3. But that may be something I need to follow up on with you all. As far as the presentation itself, I basically looked at not houses on the other streets. For one, I don't have access to comp sales unless I'm talking to a real estate agent or getting that information provided from you all. However, the house 2 doors down did sell in a foreclosure this year, and they're appraised at roughly around $90 a square foot. When I go back and do the valuation of my square footage and the proposed value that y'all are presenting, I'm at $109 a square foot. And my neighbor directly next door to me, which is Mr. Cowan, is roughly at $61 a square foot, which his house is roughly more comparable to ours because of the age of the property than even the one that was foreclosed on. So if we're looking at my neighbors at $60 and my other neighbors at $90 and I'm at $109, I just don't understand the justification for why my taxes are more. I'm asking that the appraisal review board hold consistent at $105,000 for the valuation of the property, based on the fact that when Hurricane Harvey came through and my neighbor's tree took out the corner of my roof, the insurance company only compensated us for what it took to replace the roof to what we had before. New building requirements required that it be built with a pitch. So that increased cost had to come out of our pocket. And we just were able to do that at the beginning of this year in January, primarily because the windstorm people said they would not renew our policy unless we made the repairs. So that's one explanation for why I feel the value should be at $105,000. In addition, there are we have 2 outside storage, like sheds, not really super big structures or anything, but just metal sheds that we had for storage that both got blown away in the storm. We have recently taken down the second one. The first one was taken down with the storm. The second one was kind of just leaning. So we've removed that and are starting to build a replacement for a storage room, but that's not complete. Outside siding on the back part of the house still has to be installed. We also don't have all we have is a concrete floor in the living area. As you enter the front door, the living area and the bedroom and the bathroom still has concrete floor, while the rest of the house has something else. So with that being said, I just looked at the roll value history as well. You guys are wanting to go up $14,800 this year. And, I spent $10,000 minimum on the roof. So I'm just trying to get it back to where it was before. Okay. And before the storm, I was valued at something like $56,000. So my value in the last 4 years has, let me see if I got my note here. My value in the last 4 years has increased 47%. From 2018 to 2019, which is after the hurricane. Of course, everybody's value went down after the hurricane, but immediately the year after, it was increased $26,920. from 2018 to 2019. And now you're wanting to add another 14,800 on top of that. I get that we need the values to be close to what they're going to sell for, but this property is not going to sell. Okay, it's not an investment property like my two neighbors. This is a property where myself and my children are living. Okay, I'm a school teacher. I'm on a fixed income. I don't have the means available at this point to pay additional taxes on the property when I'm still trying to pour money into fixing it. And that's the end of my presentation.
Okay, Eamon, you have 2 minutes for rebuttal
Okay,
and 2 minutes for cross-examination.
yeah, the first thing is the effective age is different than the actual age. Effective age is used in lieu of condition codes in residential property appraisal. Every building has an effective age. So we're aware that the building was built in 1950. The effective age has to do with how well the building is kept up. Depreciation from 1975 is a lot of depreciation. It's at 50%. The table bottoms out at like 30. So it's seriously depreciated. It's only contributing about $57,000 worth of value to the property. And considering building something new like this is at least $150 a foot, that's a ton of depreciation.
Say that. I'm sorry, say how much a square foot for new construction?
It's running at least $150 a foot right now.
Okay.
And the other thing is the class is totally good on this. This is a 3. That's not really grounds for a protest. You can protest value and stuff, but not how we class stuff. Our class is fine on this one. As far as like the value from last year, I mean, we do have to have our numbers be with something within 5% of what sale prices are. And if this property was at 105, the issue is the most it could possibly sell for without causing a problem is $110,000. And any penny after that starts creating a problem for the school.
Doesn't have anything.
If we're outside of that interval for 2 years, the school district ends up writing checks for many hundreds of thousands to several millions of dollars in a penalty for our values being wrong. Your house, I understand it's not on the market, but we have to value everything. That's what an appraisal is. And your house is worth more than that. It's worth more than what we have on it. I think that we're being extremely conservative at 120. I do not believe you could sell your house for 120. Somebody would jump in, buy it from you, and sell it to someone else. And I've seen that happen. Your property values are just going way up. If your place was spruced up, if you took, $4,000 to $6,000 and got it cleaned up and ready for sale and put down some, floating flooring and that kind of thing, it would sell for 150. And that's the problem, is our number is supposed to be more like 145 at a bare minimum, not 110 or 120 or whatever it is. So it's way below what your house is going to sell for, but it's taking into account that it's not in perfect condition. It's got some depreciation. It has some effective age. So it's at 120. You could sell your house right now as it sits for more than what we have on it.
And so can my neighbor, and so can the other neighbor, but their taxes are lower than mine.
Well, I don't know.
Their values are lower than mine when they have about I know the one immediately next to me is more comparable to what we have.
Well, which one?
I haven't even painted the outside of my house.
Which one? Let's look at it. Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. If you paint's not expensive, but your house would be an incredible return.
I think she's
I know you don't know me, sir, but go ahead.
I think she's talking about property 19254. It's right next door to her.
Let's look at 192.
Thank you.
Rebecca, the other one's a mobile home on the other side, right?
The one on the other side, but the one that sold in foreclosure, let me pull up that one, is 19255.
Oh, okay, two houses.
But the one that
down.
I'm really emphasizing here is the 19254, because basically I believe both of those houses were built about the same time. That
Let's look at them.
We're gonna take a look at that one.
Hold on.
Yeah, this is for
and the house next door actually has a separate dwelling in the backyard, like a mother-in-law quarters.
okay. What's wrong with this property? What's going on?
It's 1960.
Okay, but still. Is there a function on this or something? That can't all be depreciation, is it? Effective age, 3SS minus. Doesn't even have a year built. H75 to H50 per site, is it? Is it H50 removed? Yeah, check and see if there's an H, still has the H50 on it. Under improvements.
While they're doing that, Rebecca, can I ask you a question?
Yes, ma'am.
So in January, your roof wasn't repaired?
Correct. We had not replaced the roof immediately after the storm because it was going to cost more than what the insurance gave us. So when
you just
it came,
repaired it this year?
yes, ma'am, in January. And I have the WPI from the engineer that came and looked at it.
Okay. Damon?
Okay, I'm just digging through this, trying to make sense of this. This account is this is bonkers how low this thing is. This is crazy. Oh my God. Okay. So let me see. Trying to think of something reasonable on an equity. It was equity checked.
It was appraised market value.
Oh, dang it.
Q1.
Market value?
Well, on market value, we're like way under, but this account is broken. I mean, this is like, this isn't right.
So when you're looking at my neighbor and when I'm looking at what you're doing to my neighbor and what you're doing to me, that's why I filed the protest. I'm like, look, I need some explanations.
Yeah, your neighbors needs to be almost doubled.
I didn't call for that.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
So all I'm asking at this point is until we get it all figured out on the block, can we just keep my value at the same and I keep paying my taxes, and then gradual increases over the next few years as I can still start to pull myself out of the hole that we're in?
Do you have a homestead on this?
We do have a homestead. My husband has a homestead. I live here. My husband lives somewhere else.
Oh, I see. So there's no homestead on this property.
No.
Oh, where is your home? The homestead, the other one, because when you're married, it's one unit. Where's the other one?
Is that relevant?
Well, I mean, is it?
It's in the same county.
Oh, okay. I didn't think it was a secret.
No.
The other thing is when you don't have a homestead and it's not your legal designated primary residence where you spend more than half the year, which is what a homestead requirement is, there isn't anything to graduate market changes. That it would go on 10% per year, maximum.
No, I know there's a cap. I know there's no cap when it's not homesteaded.
Right. Also, if you're living here, you should homestead it. Whichever one y'all are actually.
Yeah, and so it's just a matter of getting the form and filling it out in January and doing all of that fun stuff with you guys. I honestly, I don't even work in the school district in the county anymore. I've changed districts, so I'm a little bit farther removed from being able to have easy access on my lunch break or my conference period. I'm raising 3 kids. I'm a busy lady.
Sure. Yeah, just on a market basis, there's no lever I can pull to make the market slow down in Fulton. We're low on your house, and I think that's warranted given that there's, like you said, it needs to be painted, it needs flooring. You know, it basically needs like a week of work being done to it to get it market ready. It's,
It needs money is what it needs. It's not about the materials and it's not about the work. It's about the money. My
it doesn't need
water bill has gone up, my gas bill has gone up, my grocery bill has
Okay,
gone up, my
okay.
windstorm has gone up.
Okay, ladies, wait, we have 1 minute for district closing and 1 minute for protester closing. Eamon, do you need your minute?
Yeah, just in closing, I just want to point out, like, it doesn't need $30,000 worth of work. And it's going to sell for 150. I mean, you can't buy this house for 105 anymore. You just can't. Ask me how I know. And that's all.
Okay, and Rebecca, you have 1 minute?
My husband, John and Rebecca Johnson, are 5-generation Rockport people. We're not selling our house. We're not going to mess up your values. I'm looking at my neighboring properties that are at a lower price per square footage, and I feel like you shouldn't jack me up higher on my value just because you think the market value is more. What it's appraised for and market value are not always the same.
Okay.
Thank you.
The appraisal review board now has 5 minutes to deliberate.
Okay, I'm gonna put this out here and Kathy, Robert, let me know what you think. But in January, her roof was not finished. And that makes a difference. So I know you know, I understand what the district's saying and I get that, but their house wasn't, their roof wasn't finished.
I didn't hear, when was the roof completed?
After January.
After January of this year.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah, I think we need to take that into consideration. Robert?
Yeah, I think that needs to be considered.
And what did it cost for your roof?
I paid, I think it was $10,000 for the roof, and he's going to bill me another $2,000 at some point in the future when I have more money.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to toss a number out there, 110,000.
I
Okay, I
could
think
do
that's giving her 10,000 for the roof approximately. So I'm good with 110.
I am too.
Okay.
Motion?
Make a motion. Robert, you okay with that? You threw it out there, so.
Fine.
Okay. Account number 19253. Based on what we heard from the protester and from the district, and in addressing, I believe the only thing was market value. We are going to lower the price to 110,000.
Oh, I second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, Rebecca, you'll be receiving a packet of information from the appraisal district in the mail with this information.
Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate all of the review board's input here today.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Rebecca.
Okay, have a good day.
You too.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, that's the 8:30 docket. I don't know if y'all want a quick break. We have some
There's
phone
2
hearings
people
lined
here.
up.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, just quick bathroom break and I'm ready to go.
Are they commercial? Do you know?
I
I'm gonna start tapping on these residential ones. This is this makes me way too angry. No, it's
You know who she is, right?
I can't.
Yeah, you want me to tell Ray?
Is there any other like F1 properties? I can't.
Today, yeah, there's a.
No, I mean at the 10 o'clock.
Yeah, I think Theodore Properties probably is, just because of the name. But let me look. Dowdy and Mathis Block 2.
Yes.
203 South
South
Austin.
Austin. Okay, I'll do that one.
Okay.
But I'm
He's
gonna
the
go.
third.
I'm gonna go talk with Ray, and then I'm not doing any more of these residential ones.
Okay,
This makes me
appraisal.
Too angry.
Val, do we have people lined up for 10 o'clock?
We do. We have 3 phone-ins right now.
3 phone-ins?
Well, 2 phone-ins, 3 cases, sorry. So our first case is gonna be 2020-1124.
She has 2 cases.
And once again, I will ask, this was not a requested phone hearing until yesterday. So I just need the board's approval that they are calling in.
That's fine.
Thank you.
Do we know who's first?
She said 1124, I believe.
It's gonna be
Okay.
Mr. Biggers. Larry Biggers will be the one on the line. He is the agent.
Okay.
No, we're taking a quick break.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna use restroom. Feel free to start without me. I'll be right back.
What is it now?
It's 11:21,
11:24.
24.
You see this?
Ramona and Kathy, are you back?
I'm here. Yep.
We'll go ahead and let them in and get started.
Oh, do you need the phone number?
Well, I'm assuming it's not Steve, so it's probably the other one. It's a San Antonio number. I'm hoping this is it.
Okay.
So. All right.
Okay, good morning. Is this Larry Biggers?
Yes. Let me turn off my
Okay,
TV
this is
here.
Robert Dayton with the Appraisal Review Board.
What's the name?
Robert Dayton,
Is this Rita?
Nathan or Dayton?
Dayton, Dayton.
Dayton, okay, all right, gotcha, all right.
Well, follow along with us. We got some administration to go through first, and I'll be
Okay.
asking you some questions along the way.
Okay,
Opening a hearing for case 2020-1124. The property account number is 25423. We are the Appraisal Review Board hearing your protest today. I have Robert Dayton, and then on Zoom, Kathy Hoffman and Ramona LeBlanc. This hearing is being recorded. We are the Appraisal Review Board hearing your protest today. We do not work for the appraisal district. We are appointed to perform an independent review of your protest. The Comptroller's Office provides an electronic survey for you to offer feedback about your experience today that may be accessed at the appraisal district office or online at surveymonkey.com /R/survey ARB. The survey is voluntary, but we do appreciate you taking it. You also have the right to appeal our decision. Appeal information will be provided to you with our determination. In accordance with Tax Code Section 41.45H, all written material that has not been provided must be provided at this time. I'm assuming that you sent all your evidence into the appraisal district.
Correct.
Okay. ARB members who are considering the protest have not communicated with anyone about the protest and are signing affidavits to that effect. And I will start. I, Robert Dayton, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of Tax Code Section 41.66F.
I, Kathy Hoffman, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of Tax Code 41.66F. I'm signing to that effect, and I'm located in Texas.
I, Ramona LeBlanc, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of Tax Code Section 41.66F, and I'm signing to that effect, and I'm physically located in Texas.
My name's Val Smith. I'm a notary public. I'm witnessing Ms. LeBlanc and Ms. Hoffman's signatures via Zoom, and I'm physically located in Texas.
Larry, I'm going to assume since you signed the affidavit that you're under oath for the rest of the hearing.
Correct.
I, Ray Presley, do solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony I shall present to the Appraisal Review Board for the Aransas County Appraisal District is true and correct.
Larry, are you a appraiser in the state of Texas?
No.
Okay. In the packet of information that you were given, there was a page, it's about page 5, that had hearing procedure times. I don't know if you have that.
Yes, I have it right here.
Okay. So would you like to go first, or would you like the district to go first?
Oh, I don't have a choice. Okay. Oh yeah, I see. Yeah, okay. First column and second column. Okay. I'll go first.
Okay.
Okay, you have 5 minutes for your presentation.
All right. Do the board members have a copy of the information I supplied?
Yes, we do.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
All right. All right. First, let's take a look at the picture that I sent. Aerial photograph I had made in 1995. Do we see that?
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay. At the very top of the picture is the 700 building, just for reference purposes. And then on the base side, that's building 100, and then 200 and 300. And then at the bottom is building 400. On the left, going up, building 500, 600, and then the top 700. Notice the roof lines of 1, 2, and 300 buildings. See how the roofs are a little bit lower, about 3 feet lower on the center condos. Those are 3 bedrooms at each end, 2 of them. And then 100 building, there's 4 2-bedrooms. And in the 200 building, there's 6 2-bedrooms in the middle. And 300 building, there's 4 2-bedroom units in the middle. 500, you can't quite see it in my picture, but the roof designs are the very same as building 100 and 300. Building 600 is completely different. Notice the roof line is flat. Those are all 3-bedroom. Those are built by LJB Enterprises. That's Larry Bennett and Jeanette Stewart in 1983. And Mr. Bennett Stewart still lives across the channel there at Seashell Shores. And I talked to him at length about the building process. And he mentioned that when those were first being marketed, there was no market for 3-bedroom units. So they made them 2-bedroom along the bay side, but the footprint is the same as a 3-bedroom. They just, for whatever reason, made the 3rd bedroom and did not sheetrocked over it and left it enclosed, although it was, ready to go. And then when they got to the 600 building, the market hadn't changed, so they went ahead and raised the roof and made them all 3-bedroom. But the footprint of all of them, 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6, are identical. In the 400 building, they were all 1-bedroom, 1-bath units. In 1995, they were all pretty consistent. But since that time, there have been many, many changes, and very, very few still maintain the original square footage. They've added windows, added bedrooms, added bathrooms, modified bathrooms from 2.5 to 3 full baths. If you look at the 700 building on the east side, you see 3 windows vertically there, 1, 2, and 3, indicating three stories. And at the 400 building, you see 2 windows, indicating 2 stories. Well, that's now 3 stories. There is another window at the top there. All right, that's just orientation. Now, I guess I can just read what I have here. I'm acting as
Sure,
agent for.
you have a minute and a half, so
Yeah.
go ahead.
Okay. All right. I guess after I met informally with Jackie, she said that the comp sales showed that it was about 3,000 too high. But when I got the evidence package, I see what the problem is, and they have been the information in the evidence package shows that the information available to the appraisal district is highly inaccurate. And the problem comes in when you have one that's sold and it has a lot more square footage than is reported. We get a price per square foot, and then when a unit with less square footage is evaluated, that's extrapolated to think that they're equal, and they're not. So the crux of the problem is Ms. Barelli's condos are rated the highest of any 2-bedroom, and her next door neighbor is appraised at $16,000 less than she is, with an identical unit. So on the back side of the sheet, I have some of the information that you can read over to see how off they are. And I talked to Mr. Amon earlier about the common elements, and I do not understand the common elements. They're all of anywhere from 47,000 to 68,000 appraised common elements, and that's not the way the declaration works. The declaration says everything is 1/62 of the common elements. So if you see in the picture, there's 38 boat slips all the way around, but none are assigned to buildings 1, 2, and 3. So, for example, a 3-bedroom on the Bayside common element is 62,000, and on the Bayside 68,000. I don't understand that, and because the Harborside has boat slips and the Bayside does not. You see a beach on the Bayside, but that's available and open to anyone to use. They don't belong specifically to the Bayside units.
Okay, sir, your time is up at the moment. You'll have a couple minutes later on. District
Sure.
has 2 minutes for cross-examination and 5 minutes for their presentation.
Sure.
Ray, are you doing that?
Yeah, let's just jump into the district's presentation. I was looking here, it looks like the form that I have is the property owner's affidavit, and value is unequal compared with other properties is checked. I don't have the protest form in front of me. Can someone let me know if there's something else checked on that form? Do y'all see it? I just want to verify real quick.
Let's see.
We don't see that.
No, just the only thing checked is
equity.
unequal compared with other properties.
Okay, all right. So what I'm going to do in that case is I'm just going to move on to an equity grid. Page 6 in the CAD's evidence. And let's see, this is, if you look at the neighborhood there, that S7432 Bay, 1353 on the living area, 1353 on the living area, same effective age. You'll notice there's no adjustment on these comps. They just kind of balance out. You end up with a median equity value of 320 because they're all being appraised in the same manner. So our equity on this, as far as we're concerned, our equity is good. And since that's all that's under protest, I will just move on. They can go to their part now.
Are you through?
That's it. That's the equity of this unit is.
Okay,
yeah.
okay. Larry, you have 2 minutes to cross-examine and 2 minutes for rebuttal, so I'm giving you 4 minutes.
Starting now?
Right.
Yes.
Okay. My point, it has nothing to do with any other properties. The only issue is within the property of Contiki Bayfront condominiums. On the back of the page that you may have in front of you, I copied from the property magistrate report on the rental site for condo. I said 209, no, 205. It should be, I said it's 209, but it should be 205. So the Bayfront Contiki 205 property view, and the condo is 1393 square feet, which is not what is reported on the appraisal district website. Appraisal district website has it at 1233, and so we're off by about 160 square feet, and it's appraised at 16,000 less than the next door neighbor at 203 and 204, which is Ms. Mirabelli's. So, here we have a discrepancy that is obvious. On this sheet, it shows the 400 building. They're all appraised the same, but 3 are 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 5 are 1-bedroom, 1-bath. So if one of those 2-bedroom, 2-bath is sold, then that appears to be the selling price that's going to be applied to the 1-bedroom, 1-bath, because it shows on the district website that they're all the same, and it does not. It's the bottom of the sheet. I say 401 through 404 and 408 are 1-bedroom and appraised at 175, 330. The other 5 are 403, 405, 406, and 407 are also appraised at 175, 330, and they're 2-bedroom, 2-bath. And the same is through all this. This sheet here shows, it even shows one as 3 stories. On number 105, it says appraised at 251, 270 plus common elements. It's 3 stories. There's no 3 stories in the 100 or 200 or 300 building. So there's just tons of erroneous information. So it's not the district's fault. It's just that in the ETJ, you don't have to have building permits, and people do this and don't report it. So through the years, these units have become wildly desperate in arrangements of square footage, but not reported to the appraisal district. So my point is, again, 205 is incorrectly appraised, I guess, or my client is incorrectly appraised, but it's not. There's not $16,000 difference. They're identical units.
Is the unit you're discussing, is that a 3-bedroom?
I'm sorry?
The unit we're discussing, how many bedrooms is it?
I'm sorry, I can't hear you. Which one are you saying?
I
How,
said
how many bedrooms are they?
In which one?
the one we're discussing.
203.
Oh, 203? Okay, 203 is a 2-bedroom with a loft. I told you that they lowered those roofs and there is not room for a window. So technically you can't call it for rental purposes a bedroom, although it is, without having a window in it. So it's considered a 2-bedroom with a loft. And they all are.
And how about unit number 205?
Identical. All of them are. 203, 204, 205, 206, 207, 208, 103,
Okay.
4,
They're all
5.
identical? And they're
All identical.
Okay.
In the real sense. I mean, you walk in there, I've been in every one of them. They're identical, but they're not identical on the district website. So when the district assigns a value to it, they're assigning a value to different units than what actually existed in 1995. So
Okay.
the district is considering 205 as being 2-bedroom only, and it's not. It's 2-bedroom with a loft.
Okay. All right, your time is up. District, you have 2 minutes for rebuttal.
So the district isn't focused on bedrooms. The district is using the square footage, not bedrooms. So maybe the best thing to do here is we'll pull up PAX and we'll look at this property, 25423.
Can we, Ray, I hate to ask you, but can we see unit number 205?
Yes, ma'am, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna get PAX up here on the screen. We're gonna pull up 25423.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Yeah, sure. That's gonna be the subject property.
Sorry, it's just taking this.
It's okay.
Okay, sorry.
That's all right. Just open the property. And this property this is number 203, living area 1363 square feet. Okay, go one way, Jackie, just down at the bottom.
There they are.
Looks like
That's the one you want.
1353.
No, Jackie, go back and scroll through them so that we can, let's see if we can just see them in order. Go the other way. Okay, so 1353.
Mhm.
Okay, 1353 square feet is 203. 204 is 1353. Go again. Here comes 205 for everybody. Let me make sure we're at 205, and 205 says 1233. So open up the improvements. Hit details and hit the sketch. It opened on another screen. It's okay. Open that up. And then what do those numbers say? 442 and what?
791.
So what is 442 plus 791? Let's make sure there's not.
And that includes these.
Right, plus 791. $440.
That's just the big areas.
Okay, so close that.
Do we need
Let's look at, open up the improvement, Jackie. Open up main area. And let's see if it's calculating off the sketch. It is. It's calculating 791. Okay, go back and open up the other main area and see if it's calculating off of the 442. It's right there, Jackie. It's right above it.
Oh, second.
Yeah, there you go. Second floor. And what is it calculating off of? It's calculating off of the sketch. So there's no funny business in the account. There's no overriding of the sketch. Close that. And let's look through here again. There's a MA and MA2. Is there anything else? Okay, so close this one. And scroll, go to summary. Scroll to the next account, 206. 1353, go to the next one. 1353 at 207, go to the next one.
It's odd how that one is that little bit less.
1353, we've got one of them, 205, at a different square footage than the rest of them. And so at this point, equity is under protest. At this point, it would appear that we're unequitable, not on the subject property, but that we're treating 205 different than we're treating the rest. It's the minority. All the
So
rest.
it's not an end unit either, is it?
You know, you should ask Larry, because obviously he knows more about, I mean, he knows everything about this place. In fact, he's given so much data, it's almost hard to really pinpoint what we're thinking about. So Larry, you should answer that question.
Okay, you're very right. I've been in and out of those for 27 years, and I talked to Amon, and he referred me to Scott Arrington, and I sent an advanced copy to Scott. I said, you may want to, peruse this for, future purposes, because it is voluminous, and as a board, I don't know how you can approach this, but there are 14 two-bedroom units on the bay side, 100, 200, and 300 buildings. 14. There's 4.
I just wanted to
and
know,
6
is
and 4.
unit 205 an end unit?
Okay. So what is your question?
Is unit 205 an end unit?
Is 205 an end unit? No, it's not.
Okay, thank you.
Right
Okay,
in the middle.
where are we at?
Okay, we're at protester closing and district closing. You each have 1 minute.
Okay. There are 14 two-bedroom units on the bay side. 7 are rated lower than my client, and 7 are rated the same as my client. So half are correct, half are incorrect. But I go back to what I printed off of the rental site, and it says that the 205 is 3 bedrooms with 1,393 square feet, which is pretty close. Basically, I would have to say that they're all 1,413, like 3 bedrooms, because they're all the same. The only difference is the height of the roof. So through the years, it's become totally skewed, and I don't know. I would say that for this year, I would ask that my client be matched to the other 6, 7 that are lower than her, and next year the district do a complete survey and get them all right, because right now they are all more than half are wrong.
Okay, thank you, sir. District, you have 1 minute for closing.
I've looked at this, and I'll give you guys my opinion. My opinion on this is that the thing that we seem like we've proved is that we are incorrect, most likely the furthest incorrect on unit 205, with the potential to have the incorrect square footage on many of the units, potentially low square footage. Like we are actually missing square feet. The question of correcting this thing is nearly impossible because it would take some sort of agreement with, well, it's not impossible, but a condo association would have to accurately provide us the new data different than the build data, because we're not going in all these condos. Nobody wants us in their condos. And that's just to remeasure, figure out what people have done. It has been there for a while, but after everything's said and done here, guys, I don't see that we've proved anything other than 205 as an outlier. That's all I got.
Okay, it's the appraisal review board now has 5 minutes to deliberate.
Now the protester gets his minute closing.
He had his minute closing.
Okay, all right.
Okay, Ramona?
Well, I see that it does warrant the change for the $3,000 at least. And it's kind of odd how that one unit is by itself.
Okay, Robert?
What do you
So
think,
you're saying that it needs a $3,000 adjustment?
Yeah, if you look at
For certain it does.
the Q1, it has a $3,000 adjustment. I would say 317.
Okay, I'm okay with that. Ramona?
Yes.
Okay, regarding account 25423, taking into consideration the comments by the protester and by the district, and addressing appraisal ratio exceeding the median level of appraisal, we have agreed to reduce the price to the noted value to $317,000.
Oh, I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, Larry, that case is closed. And we'll open a hearing then on case 2020-1125, account number 25424. And I will just get down to our members who are considering the protest have not communicated with anyone about the protest that are signing affidavits to that effect. And I will start. I, Robert Dayton, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code section 41.66F.
I, Kathy Hoffman, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code section 41.66F. I'm signing to that effect, and I'm located in Texas.
I, Ramona LeBlanc, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code section 41.66F. Excuse me, and I'm signing to that effect, and I'm physically located in Texas.
My name's Val Smith. I'm a notary public. I am witnessing Ms. Blanc and Ms. Hoffman's signatures via Zoom, and I'm physically located in Texas.
I, Ray Presley, do solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony I shall present to the Appraisal Review Board for the Aransas County Appraisal District is true and correct. Thank you, Val.
Larry, I'm assuming that you're still under oath by virtue of signing affidavit. Okay, would you like to go first, or would you like the district to go first?
Sure, I'll go first.
Okay.
Okay, you have 5 minutes.
My fault. Okay. I would say that condo 205 is not an outlier alone. If you look at my data on the back sheet there, you see that 103 is at 1233 square feet. 104 is 1233 square feet. And then 105 is 1353 square feet and 3 stories. That's not correct. So 103 is not correct. 104 is not correct. 105 is not correct. And in the 200 building, I didn't go the 200, 300. I did, but I didn't write them all down. As I said earlier, there are seven that are below my client's square footage. So 7 outliers, not 1, on the Bayside condos. 7, not 1. On this sheet, if you look at a 101 and 102, 3-bedroom, 13 square feet, that's accurate. But in that case, one of them's 2.5 bath, one's 3 bath, and the 3 bath is appraised less than the 2.5 bath. There's inconsistencies all over here, not just one outlier. The whole thing is totally messed up. But I agree, you can't go in the condos. You're going to have to trust somebody, and it needs to be comprehensively evaluated. But to say 205 is the only outlier is incorrect. So if you're going to say that's the only one, the rest should be at my client's number of 317,000, then you've got 6 others besides her that should be considered also. And I would challenge the land value. How in the world do you get common elements higher for that 2-bedroom than you have 3 bedrooms? Can anybody explain that to me? I mean, her land value is too much. There's no other condo that has a higher common element land value. Why? So, I mean, when considering the total value, totally considering common elements plus improvements. And all we focused on last time was improvements. But common elements are incorrect also. So, you can do all the comps you want, but, you can't compare within the complex as they've done when you don't have the correct numbers to base it on.
Okay, are you finished?
What have I got? 2 more minutes?
We have 2 more minutes.
Okay. Yes, the 14 identical 2 bedrooms I have at the bottom of the page.
May I?
And okay, go ahead. That's enough.
May I ask a question?
And the 2 bedrooms I have at the bottom of the page. Okay, go ahead. That's enough.
Larry?
Okay, go ahead. That's enough.
2 bedrooms, 2 bedrooms. May I ask you a question of you, Larry? Take a little bit of your time.
Sure.
The way the condo association, or whatever the correct term is set up for common elements, is it 1/62nd? So every condominium of any size gets the same amount of common element? Or is the common
Yeah.
element based on square footage of the condo?
I don't know how it's based. I'm saying that from what I can find on district site there, it ranged from 47,000 to 68,750 with no rhyme or reason that I see. There are 38 boat slips dedicated to everything except the 1, 2, and 300 buildings. So that'd be, for dedicated use. All other common elements, pool, beach areas, lawn, everything is shared. And any cost that is involved is divided by 62 and each door. Now, a lot of condo associations base their cost on square footage, which might be done, but that's incorrect. Everything is 1/62nd. So her common element cost assigned or adjusted or appraised is too much. So how do I address that? It's wrong. It's not an
Okay, so
outlier.
Your time is up. District, you have 2 minutes to cross-examine and 5 minutes for presentation.
Yeah, so in my cross-examine time, I would like to ask a question to Larry. And the question is, what is the correct square footage of her unit?
I would have to add up all the, I would think you take the value of the complex and divide it by 62. If nothing else, we take I don't have the whole thing here, all 62 condos. I'd have to add them all up, and then divide by 62. So hers would be about 58,000.
Larry,
You didn't
what is
understand.
the square footage of her unit of 20 whatever we're on here?
204.
What is the correct square footage?
It's, I don't know.
It's okay. You can say
It's more than, it's probably, I don't know.
okay.
She
Let's say
added, they're probably 13, whatever the property owner manager said, 1393 is probably pretty close.
okay.
Is it
For
the
all the
same
two
size?
bedrooms.
I have a question. Is it the same size and same unit as 203? Are 203 and 204 identical?
Yes, they're identical, just like everything on every 2-bedroom on the complex is identical.
Okay, thank
And they're
you.
about 13. They're about 13. What does she say here? 1393. All identical.
Okay.
So appraised differently.
So we
Okay.
have,
It's still the district's time.
we have it at 1353. It's more than likely 1393. What is that? 40 square feet. Let's move on. Common elements can be tricky because it is correct that it's 1/62nd of the whole thing. However, there's a certain amount of better value, I guess you could say more value wrapped up in being on the bayfront. It's better when the common element is itemized, where you have this base common element, and then you have extra common element for your location. Sometimes it's all wrapped up into one. Common element stuff in these units is probably ancient. The units Contiki is old, so the common element value is probably something that's been around for a very long time. Whenever I said there was an outlier, I was speaking of the outlier that we found in building 2 or 200, which was when we just scrolled through those properties and we said, what's the square footage? What's the square footage? And we found all of them the same except for one. I did not go out and look at all the other buildings and look at what's going on there. I just looked at building 2. Jumping into the district's evidence, equity is under protest. The median equity value, if you look at our equity grid, in the previous one, it was on page 6. I don't know if it's probably on page 6 again. It's going to come out, it's going to be the same exact thing, 320,020. Equities under protest. I still don't see a number to change this to. I still don't see us as incorrect. I just don't see it. I agree, or I understand that maybe there's some square footage issues in here, but the one that we're talking about specifically is 40 square feet, and we're on the small side of that, not the large side. I don't want to add 40 square feet to it. So that's all I got.
Okay, Larry, you have 2 minutes to cross-examine and 2 minutes for rebuttal. You have 4 minutes.
Okay. All right. Getting back to common elements, I challenge the fact that she's allocated $68,750 for common elements. That there's 4 3-bedroom in the 200 building, and they all have the same common element, $68,750. But hers is smaller if you really want to talk about square footage. If you want to talk about equity, then if she has 1/62nd of the total value of all the common elements, it would put her about 58,000. So about 10,000 too much based on the common elements. Now, when you do all your equity stuff with other property and stuff, I don't know if you consider common elements, but she is too high. As there, the whole complex is totally messed up. But, because 205 is next door and $16,000 less is just not equitable or fair. I yield.
Okay, are you through? You have 2 minutes.
I'll have 2 minutes. Okay, well, I'll yield. I can see where this is going, but the whole complex needs to be reevaluated. I mean, the biggest problem is 400 building, where you have 3 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-story units that are appraised identically to 5 1-bedroom, 1-bath. That's not fair.
Okay.
So,
All right.
the fairness issue glares.
The district has 2 minutes for rebuttal.
The district doesn't have a rebuttal at this point. I would just try to answer questions if anybody has any.
I do have a comment here. Looking up on your comp equity grid, if you look at main area 1, main area 2, 791 and 442, my math does not add up to 1353. Unless I'm doing that wrong.
Okay. That's great. Let's look at that.
MA2 again on the bottom. 20.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that's that loft area.
Okay.
There's been some talk about that.
Yep. All right. My mistake.
No, it's okay. It's tricky in these old units, but yeah, that's the difference there.
Okay.
Is that.
Okay, Larry, you have 1 minute for closing, and the district has 1 minute for closing.
Okay, in respect, it could go either way. You could say, well, she's and the other 6 like hers are higher than the other 7 in the Bayside condos. So we adjust the last we did 3,000 off, but then the other condo she has, what we're considering now 204, we ought to go the other way on it and say she matches 205 for this year. And then next year, you need to do a complete thorough evaluation. More than half of these are wrong, and you can only protest one at a time. And so you say, well, why change for one? But you got to start changing somewhere. So we didn't change 203, so we should change 204. And let's, compromise out of this, and next year get them all right.
Okay, thank you. District, you have 1 minute for closing.
Yeah, the district's closing is, we would not recommend changing to 205. We don't believe that that would be an example of getting everything right. It would be a way for the owner's tax burden or value to be decreased, which is great, but it doesn't get everything right. In fact, it doesn't, for all we know, we're making it worse at this point. If we're truly as off as Larry is saying that we are, all that does is balance us in building 2 to the one that had the least common summary than the other ones. So we would not be in favor of that. Hence, we're giving this over to y'all for you guys to determine.
Okay. Oh, thank you. Okay.
You haven't had one like this before, have you?
All right, the appraisal review board has 5 minutes to deliberate.
Oh, geez.
I'm thinking 317 like the last one.
I was going to suggest the same thing. They're both identical units apparently, and we did lower the other one 3,000, so probably we should lower this one 3,000.
I agree.
All right, I'll make a motion on account 25424. Based on what we heard from the district and from the protester in addressing appraisal ratio exceeding median level of appraisal, we're going to lower the noted appraisal to 317,000.
Second,
I second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, hearing is
Thank
closed.
you, Larry.
Going forward, how are we going to resolve this issue of square footage and common elements? Look, I'll be back next year. So how do I do this? I was there last year too,
I can't
and the year before that. The year before that.
I can't speak for the district, Larry, because we're independent of the district, but I would hope that they would do some research and look and maybe work with the homeowners association and work all this out.
Okay.
Thank you, Larry.
I'll see you next year. All right. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye, Larry.
Bye.
Where are these units?
Hey, Ray.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Be right back. What number is it?
Well, there might be Amen. It's case number 738. It is a phone hearing. I'm gonna do a check on who's coming in.
Ray went to the bathroom.
Oh, are you doing this one?
I'm sorry, what is the number?
738.
738. I see it, okay.
Good.
These things right here are addictive.
What is it?
Yeah.
Your-
Oh,
We're gonna have it by affidavit. It's supposed to be by affidavit, call it.
Okay.
So just let us know it takes.
Okay. Okay, well, do we need to do this one first?
Yes, yes, good call. the person on the phone will be Mr. Theodore.
Theodore, okay.
Just let me know when you want me there.
Yeah, go ahead and let him in.
He's there. He's there. Robert.
Okay, this is Steve Theodore.
It is.
This is Robert Dayton with the Appraisal Review Board.
Hi, Robert.
You'll bear with me a minute. We've got some administration to go through first, and I'll be asking you some questions along the way.
Yep.
So we're opening a hearing for case ID 2020-738, account number 17623. This hearing is being recorded. We are the Appraisal Review Board that will be hearing your protest today. Myself, Robert Dayton, and then on Zoom, we have Kathy Hoffman and Ramona LeBlanc. We do not work for the appraisal district. We are appointed to perform an independent review of your protest. The comptroller's office provides an electronic survey for you to offer feedback about your experience today that may be accessed at the appraisal district office or online at surveymonkey.com/r/survey ARB. The survey is voluntary, but we do appreciate you taking it. You also have the right to appeal our decision. Appeal information will be provided to you with our determination. In accordance with Tax Code Section 41.45H, all written material that has not been provided must be provided at this time. So have you sent all of your information to the appraisal district?
Yes, sir.
Okay. ARB members who are considering the protest have not communicated with anyone about the protest and are signing affidavits to that effect. And I will start. I, Robert Dayton, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of Tax Code Section 41.66F.
I, Kathy Hoffman, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of Tax Code Section 41.66F. I'm signing to that effect, and I'm located in Texas.
I, Ramona LeBlanc, do solemnly swear I have not communicated with another person in violation of Tax Code Section 41.66F, and I'm signing to that effect, and I'm physically located in Texas.
My name's Val Smith. I'm a notary public. I'm witnessing Ms. Hoffman and Ms. LeBlanc's signatures via Zoom, and I'm physically located in Texas.
I, Eamon Burke, do solemnly swear and affirm that the testimony I shall present to the Appraisal Review Board for the Aransas County Appraisal District is true and correct.
And Steve, I'm going to assume that you're under oath since you signed the affidavit.
Very good.
Steve, do you have an appraiser's license in the state of Texas?
I don't.
Okay. In the packet of information that was sent by the district, I think it was page 5, there's a page that has 2 columns of times called hearing procedure times. Do you have that handy?
I'm looking at it now.
Okay. Those are the times we'll be following in the hearing today, but you get to decide. Do you want to go first, or would you like the district to go first?
Wow, I don't know. Go ahead.
Okay, we'll let the district. So, Eamon, you got 5 minutes.
Okay, this is account 17623. It's a commercial retail property on Austin Street. And the notice value was $94,900. Last year it was it was certified at $47,660. The way we arrived at the value for this year was using an income valuation. It has 934 square feet of net rentable area. Market rent is $10, that's per foot per year. We're given a normalized vacancy of 5%, and no expenses were allowed, as these are valued on a triple net basis. Where the $10 rent comes from. The cap rate loaded with taxes is 9.35%, rendering an indicated value of $94,900 based on a net operating income of $8,873. The equity grid shows other retail properties in downtown Rockport, shows that they are similarly appraised. They have the exact same lease rate, same vacancy, no expenses, same cap rate. They're all the same, and the values end up reflecting a result of that. There's no excess land or anything on this property. It has some land behind it, but it's not It's not really considered. It's just the primary concern is the building. And that concludes our evidence.
Okay, Mr. Seymour, you have 2 minutes to cross-examine and 5 minutes for your presentation.
Oh, one more thing, sorry.
Go ahead, go ahead.
I just want to say this during my presentation time. We do not know what the purchase price was in 2018. This was purchased in October of 2018. And I am willing, sight unseen, to settle for whatever that was in 2018.
Really?
Yes. Whatever the purchase price was in 2018, we can settle for that. And that's all.
Okay. I know you guys are doing things by the book, and I greatly appreciate that. So you'll have to pardon me if I don't follow the rules exactly. Just push me in the right lane if I need to be there. You won't hurt my feelings. So
You can go ahead with your 7 minutes.
I have 7 minutes.
Right.
Okay. All right. I don't think I'll need that long. So let me chase down what you just said, Robert, about the sight unseen, the price. So my dad owned this property for a number of years and passed away, and I inherited the property, sort of. Me and my siblings inherited it. So they didn't want the property, so I bought them out. Are you saying that you would settle for the price that I paid them for the property?
Yeah, unfortunately, that's not a market sale. I was assuming that you bought this on the market. Did you pay a market value for it?
I don't know what market value is. It was listed at 47, whatever, 660, and I paid more than that for it, but not a whole lot more.
Okay. Let me see here. Where are we?
I think I paid, and I'm sorry, I wasn't prepared for that statement right there,
That's
Robert.
okay.
But I paid somewhere in the neighborhood of right at 60,000.
Okay. And who did you say that you bought out in this case?
My brother and sister.
Brother and sister. Okay.
Yeah, my parents died, and we inherited the property. They didn't want it. I wanted it, and so we just came to an agreement, and I paid them. It was somewhere around $30,000 each.
Oh, well, you already had 30% of it yourself, though, right?
Well, I guess you could say that, yeah.
Yeah, so that puts it at 90, and we're at 94.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, then I guess I wouldn't settle for that.
But I'd be okay with 90 in that case. That's, it's not a market.
You would.
It's a fair enough.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I think I'd like to use my 7 minutes or whatever I have left to talk about something.
Go ahead. You can have 4 more minutes.
All right. So I understand the information that you presented a moment ago with the comparison to other places. I get all that. As I said, I did inherit this from my dad. He didn't do much with the property at all. So I've inherited it, and I have a lot of deferred maintenance. Right now I have Heinz Services coming to do a new roof. That's going to be expensive. I've got a lot of other deferred maintenance to take care of. As you probably know, on this particular block, I get flooded quite often when it rains due to the change in the roadway that happened a number of years ago with going from a 4-lane to a 2-lane. And so, I mean, I just have a lot of work to do to this place, and I can't afford what you're suggesting. My renters can't afford it. Downtown is still recessed due to Harvey. Tourism still down. COVID impact is obviously there. And for a while, I had to give my tenants significant discounts on their rent so they could stay open. So I guess what I'm saying is 47 the number? Well, I think I think I would certainly agree that's not the number. To go from 47 to not whatever it is, 94, whatever it is, 94.9, almost 95 in one fell swoop, just feels to me like it's an unreasonable increase. And I've just got too much deferred maintenance and too many payments to handle all of that. So I guess I'm just letting you know, you have your theory and I get it. Your theory makes perfect sense, but I have my reality and they don't seem to go together. So I'm just asking for some understanding that I have a lot to invest here. I want downtown to be open. I grew up in Rockport. It's my hometown and I love it, which is why I didn't want to give up this property even after my parents passed away. I wanted to keep something down there, but I just can't afford what you're suggesting. So
You said you needed a new roof. Is that something that you're going to do eminently? And what is the cost of that?
Well, I'm not sure. I'm not putting on a whole new roof. I'm patching the roof right now. And did you say imminently, ma'am? I'm sorry.
Yeah, just where is that something you're working on?
Yes, right. Actually, oddly enough, this morning, Heinz Services and I just struck our final agreement. So they're coming in the next few days or weeks, whenever they can get to it. And that's going to cost a little over $2,100 to just patch the roof. I've got significant water leakage coming in there, and then water coming in when it rains significantly, because that area floods, and it's something we have to deal with and repair often.
Mhm.
All right, you still have another 2 minutes if you have more you want to add.
I really don't. I don't want to spend any more time. I know you guys are busy, and that's really all. I've made my case.
Okay, and the district, you have 2 minutes to cross-examine and 2 minutes for rebuttal.
I don't have either. I will just pass.
Okay, sir, you then have 2 minutes for anything else you want to add?
I kind of laid all my cards out on the table. I guess, if I could, I don't know if this is appropriate, so please pardon me if it's not appropriate. If we could, a 25% increase would be around $60,000 valuation, and a 25% increase seems to be, for me, pretty hefty. I'd like to throw that out on the table and see what you think about that.
So your opinion of value is 60,000? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay. District, you have 1 minute for closing, and then Mr. Seymour, you have 1 minute for closing.
In my closing, I just want to say I'm totally amenable to, I understand it wasn't a market sale, but the estate was being divided and they were trying to come up with how much is their portion of it worth. And they agreed that their third of it was all worth 30 grand. So that would say that they said it was at least $90,000. I assume they're not trying to maximize their profits off of each other, but I'm still amenable to that as far as indicating a cap rate. So that would put it at 90,000. The year over year change, I just want to point out, I can't graduate that myself. Like there's no lever for me to pull in the law that makes the value happen slowly over time. We actually have to get it done within our appraisal window.
Yeah, I get your point. I just, that's an unreasonable valuation with all the expenses that I have in front of me. I mean, you're kind of making it to where I may have to sell it and get out and go do something else, and I don't think I can sell it for that right now with tourism being down and the COVID impact, the area is still recessed. I just don't think I can sell it for that. I don't know what I could sell it for, but right now it seems not like that. I'm kind of stuck on my 60 number, but
we better keep this value.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, sir. The appraisal review board now has 5 minutes to deliberate. Come up with a decision.
This area floods really bad.
Yes, it does.
And he has to have roof repair. And you know, it just, I can't, I don't know. Kathy, do you think that one of these would sell for 90,000?
I don't know. I don't have an answer for that. I
I've been in
understand the
this
flooding
boat.
issue. They all have that. We've addressed
They
that
all have that.
in other cases. I think that at least 90,000, and I don't know, Robert, what do you think?
That's what I'm thinking, at least 90,000, because for years it was 47.6. And the big reason for the jump is it's gone to income valuation. And I'm
Yeah.
looking at income here.
But I don't like the income thing anyway, so,
Well,
you know, they
I know.
spring it on everybody, and I think that was wrong.
yeah, I know. But that is,
And I just can't do 90,000, sorry.
Okay.
I
Well,
could do, I
you
could
want to
maybe do
take
75 or 80.
you want to take some additional money off for his repairs that he just indicated he has for the roof, $2,000?
Well, even then, it only comes to 88,000. I mean, I could do 75 or 80, but I can't do 90. I can't.
I mean, even with his,
Robert,
his,
can you do 80, Robert?
well, that seems low to me.
Excuse me?
Because I'm looking at his income, it's only $8,873 effective gross income.
Yeah, not a whole lot.
Not a whole lot.
No.
Well, yeah, I'm
And
not a big fan of this income approach either, quite frankly, but
no, I mean, between taxes and the insurance down there, the flood insurance is awful.
How, Eamon, are his expenses deducted against his income in your worksheet? Explain that to me quickly.
There are no expenses deducted. It would lower the market rent. So if this were his actual rent, he would be charging, let's see, 935 times 10 by 12. Are you charging them, is the rent on this property for the tenant $780, or is it more than that per month?
More than
Right. So that's what $10 per month or $10 per foot per year indicates as market rent. The reason that the rent is higher is because he's taking on some of the expenses. If he took on no expenses, the property owner would be paying less in rent because they'd be saying, well, I'm paying for this roof. I'm only going to pay $780 a month, and I'll do everything. I'll pay the taxes. I'll pay the repairs and utilities and all of it. They're charging more in rent because they're taking on some of the expenses. So the $90,000 number that was agreed upon is going to help us build an accurate cap rate for downtown Rockport, but it's within $4,000 of our notice value. So
Yeah.
I just don't agree with that. I don't agree with 90,000.
Well,
Okay.
I'm at 90,000. I think
I'm not.
Eamon described is the property owners recouping some of his expenses through higher rent. So, Kathy, where are you?
I'm trying. I don't know. I think not 80 is too low. I would be willing to give him another $2,000 for the repairs and go to 88.
I could go for,
But I don't think I want to go any lower than that.
okay, I could go for 88. Once you make that motion.
All right. On account number 17623, based on what we heard from both the protester and from the district in addressing incorrect appraised market value, I believe that's the only thing that was checked. We're going to reduce the price from $94,900 to $88,000.
Okay, second.
You'll have to.
I'll second that. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Okay, motion carries at 88,000.
Oh, he did pretty.
So we'll close Did you hear that, Steve?
I did.
Okay.
That's disappointing.
Packet of information from the appraisal district with the details and.
I can hear you no longer.
Okay. Thank you.
I didn't hear whatever you said at the end. You blanked out.
Steve,
Yes,
Steve, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yes.
They're going to send you a packet with the ruling, and they'll have information on what you can do after this. If you care to go further.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate you coming in.
All right. That's
Thank
disappointing.
you.
I know.
Sorry.
Okay, what's next?
I believe we have affidavit. Does that ring a bell to y'all? It's 1183, case number 1183.
There's nothing else signed in. So one state gal said there was an affidavit.
Okay. Says phone, but
1183, you said?
Yeah, I think they have the affidavit paperwork signed, is what Val was saying, and notarized, but they just haven't called in, so we're gonna process it as an affidavit. Case 1183.
65280.
Is this a phone call?
It's affidavit.
Oh, okay.
Have it, right? Or you need to get back?
No, I'm okay. Oh, I have it, Robert.
okay, so opening hearing, an affidavit hearing for case 2020-1183, account number 65280. This hearing is being recorded. We are the appraisal review board that will be hearing the protest today. President are myself, Robert Dayton, Ramona LeBlanc by Zoom, and Kathy Hoffman by Zoom. We do not work for the appraisal district. We are appointed to perform an independent review of the protest. Protester has the right to appeal our decision. Appeal information will be provided to the protester with our determination. In accordance with tax code section 41.45H, all written material is assumed to have been provided with the affidavit. The ARB members who are considering the protest have not communicated with anyone about the protest and are signing affidavits to that effect. I, Robert Dayton, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code section 41.
I, Kathy Hoffman, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code 41.66F, signing to that effect, and I'm physically located in Texas. Ramona?
Mona?
Oh, I was just sitting here daydreaming, I guess. Not really, but I, Ramona LeBlanc, do solemnly swear I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code section 41.66F, and I'm signing to that effect. And I am physically located in Texas.
My name is Val Smith. I'm a notary public. I am witnessing Ms. LeBlanc and Ms. Hoffman's signatures via Zoom, and I'm physically located in Texas.
Give me a second, Robert.
Okay.
Let me do something real quick. Hey, Amy.
And this was scheduled as a phone hearing. That's what they indicated on the affidavit.
Okay.
Turned everything in. Unfortunately, we did not hear from them this morning, and that is why it's being read in right now.
Okay. But they did say in the.
They did
we could do
say
an affidavit if they don't show up.
there's the language on the protest form.
Got it.
Okay.
What?
I mean, on the affidavit. I'm
Residential.
sorry.
Spell my name. Forgotten one letter.
Okay, Eamon, are you gonna swear?
Yeah, I'll do the affidavit.
Okay.
Were we ready to swear?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay,
Go
I,
ahead.
Eamon Burke, do solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony and shall present to the appraisal review board of the Aransas County Appraisal District is true and correct.
Okay, read in the affidavit, please.
Oh, okay, yeah. The property owner's affidavit of evidence is as follows. Tax year 2020, Aransas County Appraisal District, property ID 65280. This is owned by Bart and Mary Ellen Sargent, 2007 Ponderosa Trail, Saxe, Texas, 75048. 214-546-1919, Sargent Realty at netzero.net. Property description is Dowdy and Mathis, Block 21, Lot 10R, AKA 514 South Austin Street, Rockport, Texas, 78382. Reasons for protest selected is incorrect appraised market value. The evidence is described as being 18 photos and one typed page. Statement of arguments or facts as follows. Please see attached. Hearing type selected is I intend to appear by telephone conference call, and this affidavit and the evidence submitted with it may be used for the hearing if I do not appear in person at the hearing. And that is what we're doing. The affidavit was signed in Collin County by Mary Ellen Sargent and notarized by Tom Nelson. The first thing included is the letter. Regarding 514 South Austin Street, Rockport, Texas, 78382. As you are probably aware, Hurricane Harvey nearly wiped out this property. We did what we could to get our tenants back in business, but did not do everything that needed fixing due to the number of properties we had affected by the hurricane. Mainly, we did not reskin the building, as you can see in the enclosed photos. There are several serious cracks in the exterior. We didn't want to raise rents for this property for this work. We wanted our tenants to remain in the building, furthering Rockport's recovery efforts. We have been commercial and residential property owners in Rockport for over 30 years. Our plan had been to replaster the exterior, replace the back doors, and finish out the interiors later this year. Then COVID-19 happened. To help our tenants weather this unprecedented storm, we did not charge rent for 2 months on any of our commercial properties while it was not safe for them to do business. There will be no payback. Again, it is extremely important to us aid in Rockport's recovery efforts. Not raising property taxes during this time was important enough for Governor Abbott to pin the following press release. Governor Greg Abbott today responded to a letter from the members of the Texas Democratic Congressional Delegation regarding tax burdens on Texans. In his letter, the governor voices his support of lessening the tax burden on Texans, but clarifies that local governments, not the state of Texas, set the property tax rates. The governor disagreed with the members' support of raising taxes in times of economic prosperity. Property owners shouldn't be saddled with rising property taxes while dealing with a pandemic, said Governor Abbott. As a result, local governments who set property tax rates should find ways to reduce the tax burden on Texans. Whether we're facing times of challenge or times of prosperity, raising taxes on the people of Texas is never the answer. I don't feel that avoiding raising the tax percentage and then raising our property value by nearly 100% is in keeping with the spirit of Governor Abbott's press release. With this increase in value, which makes no sense with the actual state of the building, we will have to raise rents on businesses that are struggling to stay alive. The long-term solution is to maintain our current value until 1, our businesses get back on their feet, and 2, the appropriate repairs are made to finally fix the damage from Hurricane Harvey. The photos attached include pictures of cracked exterior plastering. This is a sort of old style brick building. Looks like there's actually some shellcrete in it too. There is a damaged wooden door. It's on the rear of the building. And a crack at the bottom of the door, a crack up on the wall, and then the mural shown on the side for the Cool Coast Camp with a big old fish on it. And that concludes the property owner's evidence. I do actually have some rebuttal on a couple of things there. One, the spirit of Governor Abbott's statement was to reduce the cost of what the entities are doing, for them to reduce how much they're spending as cities and schools. That is what the spirit of what he was suggesting, and I am in agreement with that. They should definitely do that. There's nothing in what he said that says that we should not be at market value for commercial property in Texas. The other thing is, as far as this building being reskinned, this building is part of a historical district, and they can't just willy-nilly plaster up the whole outside of the building. The people who are in this building in particular have tried to do that and were told no. So it's not looking like that because they don't have the money. It looks like that because the the local entities that are in like basically the business owners association down there wants it to look like that. There's been efforts to do something to it, but people like it like that. It's being kept that way on purpose. I think that's it. And the next thing is our evidence, which is 65280. The market value last year was 33,460. This year it was noticed at 62,180. It is a commercial property in downtown Austin Street in Rockport. It has 612 square feet of net rentable area. It was given a market rent of $10 a foot per year, normalized vacancy of 5%. Obviously, it doesn't have 20 tenants. I think there's only 2 in there. But if they're full all the time, that's 100%. And then whenever a tenant leaves, it takes several months to get them back. There's no expenses because the market rent is based on a triple net lease, and the cap rate applied to the $5,800 indicates a value for the subject at $62,180. And the equity grid just shows other properties in downtown that are the same way. This one's actually one of the lower ones because it's one of the smallest ones. It's also possible that, their rent per foot is actually higher than it is in other buildings because it's so small. They're probably paying, in essence, a premium, but we haven't gotten that granular yet. So they're on the same thing as the bigger ones, indicating a lower value. You probably couldn't buy this for $62,000, but an income valuation would it just spits that number out. So we're not moving it up on a whim until we actually know what these people's rent is.
So if their rent was higher, their income would be higher and the value would be higher.
Yes, yeah. And I think that's pretty obvious with the fact that you're not going to be able to buy this for 62 grand. $62,000 won't buy you this thing. And
That is part of that in because it is a historic building?
No, it's just because we're assuming it's $10 per foot per year. And their spaces are so tiny. I mean, it's 612 square feet, and there's 2 of them. One of them's a tattoo shop. So that's $10 divided by 12. I really doubt that tattoo shop is in there for $250 a month. I really don't think that's happening. So considering I paid more than that for an office space with no windows that was a third the size years ago in a terrible area. So,
So you're saying 250 would be very low, is what you're saying?
It's unreasonably low. They're probably paying, $600 to $900 a month to be in there, which means their market rent per square foot would be much higher. It's because there's an economy of size with the bigger ones. But again, because this is the beginning of the model and because it's how it works, we air low, it's getting the same treatment as everybody else, $10 per foot per year. So theirs does come out low, but we're okay with that because it's consistent.
Okay, so the repairs that they're showing in those pictures, it's not hurting the value because they can't make any changes to it?
Yeah, what I'm saying is that it's not for lack of ability to fix that. That's being kept that way on purpose. That you can't just reskin the building. The tenants that are in some of these buildings, this one included, have requested, hey, I want to do that. And we're told no, they can't. Because
this building's been like that forever.
Yeah, they like it to look like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been that way since I can remember.
Okay. Anything else you want to add, Amy?
Oh, no, I'm done. I'll answer any questions if you have them.
Okay. Anybody have any comments?
I think this.
I don't like the income approach. Putting it out there.
Yeah, I know. But that is.
I got to say it. You asked, I tell you.
Yeah, we're aware. However, I don't know where we would go from here. I think that we probably should leave it at the 62,180.
I agree. I think the percentage increase, although it's, close to 100%, that's in line with what other properties have done, going to this income evaluation method. So
I know, and I don't like the evaluation either, but it is what it is, and that's the way they have to do it, unfortunately. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and make a motion then regarding account 65280. Based on what we've heard from the affidavit and from the district and addressing incorrect appraised market value, that the value remain as noted at 62,180.
I'll second that. All in favor? Aye.
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 Aye, okay. So motion carries. We'll close that hearing.
Okay.
Are we done for the morning?
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay.
For the day, really? There's
Yeah.
none this afternoon?
None this afternoon.
Well, we're done for the day.
I have a question. Does anybody know when all the ARB members will be available at once, not during scheduled hearings? There was a request intimated to us that the members wanted to have another meeting about the income stuff.
Yeah. That was my request, Damon.
Okay. When could we do that? When is everybody going to be available?
I'm going to be gone tomorrow and I'll be gone until Monday. So after Monday is fine.
Okay. Well, I definitely don't want to add to a day that has a bunch of hearings in it.
Are we having hearings next week?
We don't have the report for next week yet. Or maybe Val does.
Yes, we're having hearings Monday through Thursday of next week, and then the Monday following, the 31st, and we should be done.
That has to be it. Girl.
Oh, you're saying next week we have what?
We have
Monday through Thursday.
Well, I mean, in that.
All day, every day?
As near as I can remember.
Okay, I was gonna say, if we had an afternoon or morning off, we could do it then.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing. Like, we don't know. What about this afternoon? Do we have any hearings this afternoon?
We don't.
Cindy's not back.
I can't do it this afternoon. I have to go to Corpus.
Because, I mean,
And we have to
I
give
have a
notice.
job interview at 4.
if there's a point to having the meeting after protest season's over.
Yeah.
We could just do it beginning of next protest season just as well, and it'd be fresher in our minds. But
I think that might be a good idea.
so I'll let y'all decide whatever y'all want to do on that. I'll just let you know. I'll be here, Monday to Friday, 8 to 5. Whenever you guys want to do it, I'm happy to do it. So yeah, just and if
Ramona, you're leaving. You're not going to be here tomorrow through when?
Through Monday.
Through Monday. Okay, so
Yeah,
so who do
I'm gonna
we
go
have
see my
tomorrow
sister.
then, Robert? You and I and Cindy.
And Charlie will be back.
Oh, Charlie will be back. Yeah, okay. Because I have to leave late in the afternoon. So, okay.
Alrighty.
All right, and
Alrighty.
Scott will be by later on this afternoon to pick up and drop off.
Okay, Val, I'm not
Okay.
gonna be home this afternoon. Are you talking about late afternoon or?
Probably 4 o'clock-ish to 5 o'clock. But he could leave just something on your front porch.
I'll just leave it on my, I may be here, but I'll just leave it on my front porch and you can too.
Perfect.
Okay.
All right.
Any letters, Val?
No letters today.
Yay. I make a motion we adjourn.
I do have a motion.
Okay. Ramona, have a good time. Are you going away?
Yes, I'm going to see my sister.
Where are you going?
Dallas. Well,